Yeah, there it is. You know, you were waiting for that transition. Alright, YouTube, shush. The audio should be fine. Let me actually remember. Well, let me switch the scrim me. But let me make sure. To Discord notification. Sluggish on that a little. And we'll give it a few minutes. I'm cruising alone right now, in case you can't tell, chat. I don't remember if it came up last week or not, but Axe said he wouldn't be in. He's got a thing going on. He had a dental appointment, or has a dental appointment in the future, something like that. The specifics are not necessary, but there's a hope we can get some other people. As I look at Dallas especially being green, I hope he can slide in. Because today it should be at Ignisters. I will begin, chat, though, by reminding you that Portrayal does have a Patreon element. I'm just irritated by, like, YouTube has a new feature that's like, hey, switch your live stream to members only mid-stream. That's apparently a thing you can do. But it's got, like, a plus sign, you know, with a bright lit up number, like, telling me to look at it. Like, no, I don't want to do that, YouTube. That'll crash my stream. Unless all of you buy a membership right now. No. Get my throat. But, anyway, there is a Patreon drive in this, so the poll is actually up. It took me a fucking week because getting the other guys to tell me stuff is, like, pulling teeth sometimes, and still we fuck it up because people don't tell me things, so ignore Ogdoadic. We've done Ogdoadic, obviously, honestly, in retrospect, because we've done all deck build packs. But when I do this for like 3 hours, I don't always remember all that. Well, you could gift memberships, but that's okay, Ark. But no, yeah. So, but the poll did actually go on Patreon. Ignore the Ogdoadic one, like I said. We've already done that one. I will dob out Axe a little, though, because he said it, like, way later. Like, oh, didn't we do it already? I feel like Axe says that about every single fucking thing anybody ever suggests. Which is like, I don't know, man. Don't tell me you think you did it. Check the archives. I did actually trim the playlist. I had cubes in there previously, and I was like, no, let's take... They're, like, Portrayal branded. They're in the time slot, but they're different. Maybe I'll start a different playlist. But that change does mean that we were sub there. Originally, when I was looking at the schedule, this one would have been, like, 200, but that's accounting... I was accounting for, like, 6 cubes. So I moved the cubes out. So we're somewhere in the middle of the 190s. But we're close to 200 episodes of Portrayal. If I can actually, like, figure out, like... whatchamacallit, what week that is and remember, because I am terrible at ahead of time remembering what the schedule is. You know, but we'll see if we can come up with something funny. Maybe one of the classic big anime archetypes we haven't done yet or something. We've accomplished a lot of the big ones, though. But yes, to filter it out. I rearranged some stuff, so, you know, maybe... Sorry, hold on. Sorry, I very violently cleared my throat, so hopefully all the phlegm has finally gotten the fuck out of here. But, to that point... You know, we got a Patreon poll up. One of the options is fake. Who cares? Pick whatever you like that's left. And we definitely have not done Super Heavy Samurai yet because there's about 9 billion of those, some of which I'm pretty sure that I'm going to show on stream later if that one wins. And who knows? It'll probably win a month eventually. I'm going to show you some of those cards, and there are going to be people in the chat who are going to be like, I've played Super Heavy Samurai for 10 years. I've literally never seen this card in my life. And, like, I think usually when we do that, I remember that there's, like, some weird shit. But there's definitely, like, I'm pretty sure I haven't built that list because in my brain I don't go, yeah, I remember building a list of a bunch of random guys you don't even remember. Like, because we have done that a lot. There's a lot of ice barriers, a lot of other guys. So there's a lot of stuff going on. Sorry, that was me chuckling. Apparently our Vintage Story small cage config file keeps disappearing. But today we will be talking about not a poll winner, but at Ignisters/AI cards. Hence the pun in the title of the stream. And it is a pun because it's a double entendre. Sorry, that's a pleasant chuckle. Axe is like telegraphing, you know, when he's going to be back from his dental appointment. I don't know if he's going to be super cool because he's talking about, like, you know, they're planning to get him in a crown later. But I know he'll show up on stream, which is very funny because he had the out, right? He said last week he's going to be busy in the time slot. He's got an out. I have other people who don't have official outs and who I will be angrily adding later. But we can give Dallas especially a little bit of grace period. What a champ. Sorry, Axe doesn't want to tell you about his crown stories in the chat and drive up my engagement numbers. He's keeping it private for the Discord. Maybe the Discord notifications will alert people. Anyway, I've been here like 10 minutes. How long has the stream been going? 7-ish minutes? 8-ish minutes? If this is your first time in a failed Portrayal, this is, like, mostly nonsensical. But it is kind of the usual, like, streamer slide into stuff. My designated preamble, like I said, to buy me a little bit of time, is we don't have a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! Related news going on. There is a little in that there was a YCS this past weekend. And while I'd really like to bounce, you know, some of this off some other people, you know, I will actually go ahead and at Dallas ahead of time. Sorry, chat, that I cannot form sentences both in text and speech at the same time. I will specifically at Dallas. But yeah, so yeah, so remember the last ban list? We even talked about it. Everybody was like, oh, this ban list seems neat. It's a little interesting. Maybe the VS, you know, the Vanquish still part of VS K9 hits are a little, what would be the word? Retributive? You know, they just want a world, so they get kind of smacked. Well, it turns out everybody was wrong because the format's actually terrible now. The YCS is, like, mostly... Sorry, I'm also being delayed, like, in this 10-minute ramble because my fucking throat is scratchy, and it won't stop being scratchy. Hold on. Sorry. I'm really not trying to be annoying and constantly clear my throat, but it's like I clear my throat, and then it comes back. Cut that shit out. You're talking. You're built to talk, throat. Anyway, we're bringing a really violent, annoyed energy to this failed Portrayal today. Anyway, the format's apparently terrible. The majority deck is Yummy Mitsurugi is apparently perfectly fine, and they're still being really annoying with, like, one Herald of Arclight. You know, they limited it to one. And lots of other Axis stuff. But the YCS was won, I believe it was Anaheim, was won by Crystron K9, which did have some hits, but weren't enough hits to actually make the deck unplayable, so now it can set up a really annoying thing where they use Imperial Princess Kokiri to give your opponent the new floodgate, which you give to your opponent de jour, Artifact Mjolnir, which, you know, is a lock. It's a floodgate. So, yeah, this was a known interaction, but it was not popular until now because people ran out of stuff. I personally think that Yu-Gi-Oh! Probably should, for a better meta, whether it's an official Konami policy or just a policy of the fan base, we do need to start taking people's kneecaps. Like, I've said this before, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a game that has, like, the stupidest, like, most arms racy gameplay for a game that is about nothing but personal pride. Like, there's no money on the line in these things. It's just, you know, can you make top 16 at a YCS? That's cool. I guess apparently Triff was going for, like, you know, the hat trick. So there's, like, stakes, but they're all petty bullshit stakes of, like, winning a card game that is technically still marketed at children. The jokes about, you know, being a quote-unquote a children's card game are a little trite, but they do still put 7+ on the packs. But, like, it's a thing where, like, if you're doing it, somebody should just, like, give you a swirly or something, or break your kneecaps. Just stop. Like, there's no need to be playing this Mjolnir shit that everybody knows is an annoying lockout. But whatever, okay, sure. Anyway, it's like October. The ban list was what, like September? It's been like less than a month, I think. Let me actually check. I'm checking to see when they say that the list might be. In a few months, so you're probably not getting it before whatchamacallit. Probably not getting it before December? In general, which seems like a really, you know, miserable, you know, a few months of just, like, everybody Mjolnir locking when they could have a better format. But they're not gonna, so, yeah, it turns out the meta everybody thought would be fun is not fun because the ban list, you know, did hit, like, a dozen cards, but forgot to hit, like, a couple of annoying ones that, like I said, were known quantities, but it's out there. It's a really weird case where, like, I think I just saw, like, watched through some stream highlights about this. MBT brought up the fact that, like, the TCG knows that some of these cards are a problem. Oh, that's cute. Wow. You do occasionally get leaks like that, but what I was saying was that, like, the TCG does know that some of these cards are just problematic and annoying because they're all priced out at 100 points in Genesis. But they're not hit on the list. It makes me wonder, like, even if the lists are separate, like, how much, like, corporate Konami has influence over the ban list of, like, you know, is there some kind of, like, C-suite directive to whatchamacallit, you know, like, keep the ban list, like, small or something? I don't know. But, yeah. Anyway, I think this would be solved if just, you know, anyone who special summons a monster to their opponent's field that prevents them from special summoning is declared, you know, a cad and a bounder, and they should pay the price in blood or something. I don't know. It's very funny to me that, like, everybody bitches and moans about the format being bad because of Yu-Gi-Oh!, and it's not just... I don't know. It's a weird thing to advocate for, like, bullying, but it's like, there's a socially corrective behavior here. Like, we could, as a community, just decide that that's a scumbag move and you're a fucking scumbag if you do that, and, like, I don't know, be like, you're a fucking scumbag. Actually, you can't actually say that because I'm sure Konami tournament policies prevent that, but, you know, you could find a more polite way to call them a scumbag. Like, just stop doing it. It's annoying. Nobody likes it. Mjolnir's not even a good card. They should ban it, and probably will ban it next time. They got Paradise Smashers, at least. but yes, like I said, that's kind of like news, but it's still a little in flux. We'll have to see how other YCSs, show up. Despite being all one format, quote unquote, the TCG is not actually unified. Events going on in South and Central America are different from what's going on in Europe, going on in North America and stuff, because the card pool can end up a little shaky and weird, and it's just different strains of thought. So we'll have to see if it's actually ruined or not. Unfortunately, Master Duel still kind of annoying. They did at least announce that their next set will be, the next selection pack going live, tonight, I want to say, is Mitsurugi, along with a handful of other support cards. And that will be grossly overcosted, I'm sure, but will at least, enable some different decks. However, Ryziel is still mostly unhit in Master Duel, I want to say. I think they've a few of their cards are semied right now, but they haven't pushed it to being limited for Malice and Ryziel yet. So it's mostly just going to mean that the everybody plays Malice tier 0 is probably going to switch into everybody plays Mitsu Ryziel tier 0. There was a cool, I really wish this was a full event. There was a cool trial duel where they were legacy pack only cards. Where they had some interesting ideas. They had like Extra Deck Monarch was a pack. There's a couple of other stuff going on in there. One was Shiranui, because that's all Structure Deck and legacy pack stuff. That was a really cool concept. I wish that was not a trial duel that lasts 3 or 4 days and only gets you one dumb selection pack. That should be a full event on the event schedule, not yet another Duelist Cup that nobody likes. No, I think I can say that. I wanted to immediately be well, I shouldn't say nobody likes Duelist Cup. No, I think Duelist Cup's a very unpopular format. I've been thinking about it. I don't think anybody likes Duelist Cup. We all feel forced to play Duelist Cup because there's free gems. But the Duelist Cup is just the ranked format, but not ranked, and just annoying. You gotta just grind it out for hours. But Dallas is unresponsive, so I'll have to remember to have him eaten by a bear later. Honestly, I don't mind if people skip out on FP, but I at least appreciate, if Axe, for instance, I've mentioned it before, he talked about doing some dental work. He had a perfect out to dip out entirely, because he was trying to schedule some dentist stuff to get done. He's still gonna show up. Probably not too distant. It was probably 10 minutes ago he said something about being back. I don't mind, and people being oh, I'm in this week, but I got an out. But it would be nice to schedule the show, because if nobody was gonna show up, I could have just played Master Duel. I could have done nothing. I could be playing more Ghost of Yote. Stares at Ghost of Yote open on TV screen. And it seems a real shame, especially if Dallas is missing this, because he's, I don't know, asleep. He's dead. He's got COVID for the 5th time. Sorry, I was distracted by just realizing, is this a pun? I think it is a pun. The set where a lot of the stuff, a lot of the Ad Ignister AI stuff comes from, started with Ignition Assault, which has Light Dragon Ad Ignister on the cover, and I'm like, son of a bitch, that's a pun. I didn't even realize. It's very funny. But yeah, we got a field spell. So this is an AI card. It's kind of mentioned how this works, so I alluded to it before. There's a pun. There's a pun here. And that's that I'm pretty sure most of these are not actually supposed to be pronounced AI, despite the fact that the TCG makes sure to put the A and I and the periods in it. You're not supposed to pronounce this, for instance, Ignister AI land. Because the original Japanese pun, obviously, is Ignister I land. Airando. Because you're saying I, which is both the abbreviation for AI, artificial intelligence, but also is I, which is love in Japanese. So, almost all of them are a double entendre. You pronounce it like I, and it also makes a second one. This is AI land, but also island. But it's like the classic, the optimal move, the best you can do in a Japanese wordplay is if you can get like 3 layers in that shit. So it's AI land, as in artificial intelligence, I-land, as in love land, and also an island, as in literally an island. Many such cases. So, and I think we mentioned it before in the lead-up that the Ignisters themselves, the monsters in this setup, we've got that classic case where it's like how Cynets, the spell traps, and then Code Talkers and Firewall were the monsters. We've got, this divided setup where the Ignister guys are, related to the story of Vrains, and they have at least one of each attribute because they are supposed to represent, all of the... Sorry. Scratching my itchy ankle. But they're supposed to represent the various characters in Vrains and their decks, and also, represent the literal character known as I, who is an AI. There are the Ignis are a type of AI in the Vrains world, and I is one of them, which shows me that there's just like a lot of, dumbass puns going on. But the Ignisters thus represent various attributes. They also represent various characters and their themes. Also, the main deck ones, at least, also all represent an onomatopoeia, because it's not... Chat, once again, talking about you need at least 3 layers deep. It's not merely enough that we name these monsters so that they, like, have a design and a name and an attribute, so, like, they're all attribute-themed, they are related to, these various Ignis AIs, and they also, like, link up with the... their extra deck counterparts link up with, like, the character archetypes that these AIs match off against. But also, they're a sound effect. And then we kind of change everything. So in Alliance Insight, they use the main character's cards. His iconic monsters get upgraded to Ignisters, which is like a hypothetical thing that's mentioned in the anime, but doesn't actually happen. But it's a cool way to do future support for both those guys, the Cybers type guys, some of whom we've talked about recently, and also Ignisters. So, yes. Let me go back one. Ignister AI Land is our field spell. And, of course, as usual, it's the front because it's kind of important to the deck. I think that you can play the deck without necessarily needing to find it, but it's a really important piece of interaction you can actually work with, so it's still good to see. And if I'm wrong about it, who's going to tell me? Nobody else is here to tell me I'm wrong. If you control no monsters in your main monster zone, you can special summon a level 4 or lower Ignister monster from your hand. For the rest of this turn, you can't special summon a monster with the original attribute. By that effect, and you can't special summon except Cybers, even if it leaves the field. If this card's in your graveyard, banish an Ignister from your graveyard, set it. You can only use this effect once per turn. So, the condition of Ignister AI Land whatchamacallit, does allow it to be used multiple times. It's just that you can only special summon with the MMZ empty, so you have to, link them away to get the summon. And also, you can't use any of the same attribute of Ignisters. Since I'm pretty sure most of the new stuff is all darks, it's still pretty limiting. Also, it's cyber locked. Sorry if I paused there a couple of times. I can't edit those out of the stream, but that's me trying to wrap my brain around it. This one's got some interesting conditionals and commas. And it resets itself by banishing an Ignister. Art-wise, it's a, funny floating island, a pretty typical kind of, like, theme park. You can see a giant statue of Ai down there, waving. I'm pretty sure there are some, like, UI elements in, like, Duel Links this looks like. And I'm pretty sure Duel Links existed by the time Vrains was ending, at least. $2020 was when this card got actually printed, so yeah. Don't know about when it first showed up in the anime, but yeah, you got all your normal stuff in there. You got like a little cafe pavilion. You got a big castle. The castle is connected to the roller coaster, it looks like, and maybe some kind of like metro line. You got a Ferris wheel. You got a spinny thing. You got a stage. You got something round in that one corner that's covered by a cloud. I don't know what that is. Space Mountain? Second roller coaster? But yeah, it's supposed to be a little, virtual amusement park. So I have arranged these alphabetically. And we'll also get to explain. But fair warning, most of the main deck guys are just kind of like little computer blobs. So there won't be a lot to talk about their aesthetic until they start to like actually form a thing. And you'll see what I mean immediately, chat, when I poach. Man, what am I doing to poor Aichichi? Yes, it's Aichichi Ignister. Also, if for some reason you didn't know how to pronounce it, that symbol with the A and the circle line, that is typically pronounced at. Obviously, many of you probably know that from being in the post-email generation. But it's explicitly at Ignister in this case. Like, literally, this guy is Aichichi Ato Ignister. Which I don't... also, technically, I didn't say correct. The A should be longer, but you know what I mean. So, Aichichi is fire attribute, in case you couldn't tell by the fact that he's orange and stuff. He's orange and red and stuff. And the onomatopoeia he is supposed to be hot. It's hot, 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 hot. Aichichi. Sorry, the volume slid a little louder. I was trying to make it a little softer. I always think it's a little too loud. So, Aichichi at Ignister is a Fire Cyburst level 2, 800, 800. If this card's normal or special, add a level 4 or lower, add Ignister from your deck to your hand. Except Aichichi. Start your damage step on your Cyburst battles. You can banish it from your graveyard, destroy that monster you can control. Now, that second one, that one's weird, but... Ah, okay. So it works with the extra deck. Yeah, all these guys have extra deck counterparts. as well. So, you know, because there's this whole attribute thing going on, in case you didn't notice, Trent. So yeah, that's a really, really, like, it seems like that effect isn't any good. That does actually have a purpose. You'll see it when we get to the extra deck. Otherwise, this is a pretty normal card. I'm pretty sure that while there's a few different ways you can make the attribute stuff work in Ignister, no matter what, I'm pretty sure a Chi-Chi is an important one because it is on normal or special. You add a level 4 or lower, so it helps you get your searches going no matter what. Now, this, at least, you can understand what he's supposed to look like. This one I will say. This is Bururu. It's green, so you know this one is the wind one. Bururu is supposed to be shivering. You know, you're... Bururu. Oh, I'm cold. Brr. Brr. Which bururu is not quite a mapping to the English brr, but it's close. Okay. That's a little sad. So, I was gonna say, I'm not sure what this guy's supposed to be. Well, hey, fun fact. So, the Wind Ignis character uses an archetype that has not been printed in the in paper yet, period. Their special archetype was Storm Ridership. Which is a Wind Cyberse deck. That apparently has related effects to fucking with the spell Trap Zone and also to affecting your opponent's, link monsters. That probably should be printed. So, other than their inability to print all their backlog of anime archetypes, that probably explains why this guy, Bururu, I look at it and I go, oh, that's cute, but I don't really get what it's referencing. It's referencing something that's not, like, in paper Yu-Gi-Oh! If I'd watched the anime, I would know. I do like the little leafy floating stuff going on. Like, it's a little cute little guy, but the bird-like elements, especially with, like, it's got a little, like, orange or yellow thing, like a beak. It's good to know. Bururu is kind of important because it's a tuner. I'm pretty sure you can do other tuners in the archetype. There were several Cyberse generic tuners, which have come out since then. But this is obviously the one meant to be an archetype. Spoilers, the Wind extra deck monster is a synchro. So, Wind Cyberse Tuner, level 3, 600 attack, 1000 defense. If normal or special, send that Ignister from your deck to graveyard. If sent to the graveyard as material for Synchro Summon of a Cyberse, target one monster on the field that was used for that Synchro Summon, except Bururu. Monster in your graveyard, sorry. I don't know if I said that correctly. Except Bururu, special summon it. You can each effect once per turn. So, Synchro making is also link climbing effectively and lots of other little things going on. It's a foolish... so I don't really remember seeing or hearing Bururu in a lot of lists, but it seems like a pretty good card. Yeah, I believe I remember that the light one was also one of the ones that wasn't printed. But yeah, Bururu seems like a pretty decent card. I mean, it's a Foolish Burial on special or normal, and it's got the fucking... the whatchamacallits. I do believe also for a while, especially because we're going to be talking about it not too long, but the Earth one was, the Earth Ignis's was G-Golem, I'm pretty sure, and those did all finally get printed. And, like, We're not super good, but considering I'm pretty sure they did come out in an Animation Chronicles set, I think they were, like, solid, and you've seen them teched into a few things. Yeah, this is one of the originals? Yeah, okay. So, next is, we're going alphabetically, because, you know, all these guys came out basically at the same time in the first couple of sets. This is Doyon. Doyon and Ignister, which is gloomy. Doyon. That's why he looks kind of like a sad ghost, I think. Even though the way his lines are drawn, it makes it look like he's got an evil little smile. I don't like that. This guy's supposed to be gloomy, not sinister, not menacing. But yeah, Doyon here is meant to represent I himself. Probably why he is gloomy. It's the depression at Ignister. Sorry, I've been re-listening to a lot of bizarre podcast Dogs Must Die while playing Ghosts of Yote. So I'm thinking about when we called Cheap Trick the Depression Stand. Anyway, Doyon at Ignister is a Dark Cyburst 4, 400 attack, 1600 defense. If it's numbered or special, target an Ignister in your graveyard, put it back in your hand. If it's sent to the graveyard for the link summon of a Cyburst, target an AI spell trap in your graveyard, add it to your hand. You can use each effect once per turn. Pretty basic recycling, puts guys in your hand. If it's linked off, gets a spell back. Most of your spells are going to be good. I've got them all on the list just because they're like... If for nothing else, chat, we're going to talk about all the spells just so I can hit you all with all of the puns. But not a lot to say about Doyon. He's got 2 good recursion effects. But I kind of... once again, Doyon feels like that's not a guy that I'm like, oh yeah, Doyon, I know that guy real good. I know him very well. Sorry, that's small for some reason. Hold on. Because our next one is... Don Yoribo. So there's like a hyphen in the Japanese, so it should be Don Yoribo. Don Yoribo is supposed to be depressing. It does not have any, like, direct comparison to other characters specifically, and doesn't specifically have a listed, like, extra deck, you know, thing. But it's supposed to probably be related to Link Kuribo. Especially because, you know, Kuribo, Yoribo, like they rhyme. You know, they have that kind of comparison, and he kind of shaped like Link Kuribo. Also, it's a level 1 Dark Cyburst with 300 attack and 0 defense that has a damage effect, a damage prevention effect. So it's like we gave them a Kuribo, but it's not a Kuribo. It's an Ignister. So during damage calc,
hey, nice to see you at Ignister.
Well, the chuckle took away. You made me jump a little.
Yeah, it's like I feel like I have to fucking cancel just being in my fucking Tuesday game if you just keep being fucking alone and sad.
I mean, it would be like I said this earlier. I don't know if you were listening at that particular moment, but I said, you know, I could just like reschedule or do something else if people said they wouldn't make it. Like I said, you had a pretty good established. You were like, hey, I don't know if I'll be there. You know, I got a thing going on, and it's like, okay, we can work around that. But nobody else. I even added Dallas straight up. Now he's like offline, so I assume that he is actually busy because he's like gone yellow. But I don't know what else is going on.
Again, people keep giving me shit for this, but I still think Dallas needs to at least communicate when he can't show up for actually communicate that. He just doesn't.
Yeah, I guess when we're doing something specific that I'm
pretty sure I told
him about. I mean, there are times when I'm not nice about it.
He just talks off because it's Dallas. He doesn't give a fuck. So you have to actually like pressure him about it to actually like get an answer.
What stream was it when I threatened to pipe bomb him? I don't remember which one that was. That worked though.
I don't think he lives in LA. I don't think he cares that much.
Please direct all your inquiries to...
Dallas.
No,
That's something you don't know.
Talk about it. You're the ones making steps about LA. Anyway, we were talking about Don Yuribo. Where was I in this effect? During damage calc, if your Ignister is attacked, specifically, quick effect, discard it, take no battle damage. When an Ignister monster effect or AI spell trap card effect, is activated that inflicts damage to your opponent, even during the damage step, banish this card from your graveyard, quick effect, double that damage. You only use each effect of Don Yuribo once per turn. So this is like a Kuribo, but also it's like a reverse Kuribo. But also, fuck you, take extra damage. I don't know, though. I assume there are. I don't remember there being any Ignister or AI effects that do burn, but there must be for this to do something. That probably means they're not very good, though, if I don't remember them. So, yeah. This card, I'm pretty sure, is basically cut by the wayside for other, better level 1 Cyberses. Like, I'm reasonably certain if you wanted a level 1 Dark Cyberse that does something, there's way better targets for this in Ignister. There might even be some in the new cards. There's literally one of them is called, like, Linguribo Ignister or something. So this guy definitely gets left by the wayside. Because he's a very weird little guy.
I feel like that's all of them are sometimes.
Yeah, but at least, like I said, most of them are based on, like, one of the Ignis, you know, the literal artificial intelligence characters, or, you know, link up to, you know, they also share a relationship with the major supporting cast of Vrains. Don Yuribo is just, hey, what if Kuribo was an Ignister, and then later they just did that.
Fair.
Sorry, I was wrong. It's spoilers for later, but it's Kurikurinuku Ignister. This, though, is Doshin Ignister, which if you don't know, that's supposed to be... Sorry, I should say that more like Doshin. It's Thud, the onomatopoeia. Because this is the Earth one. He's a literal brick. Drink some water. But yeah, he's a brick with hands. Or are they ears? I think they're hands. But put a brick in your deck.
It more looks like a stoplight, actually.
It is honestly a little bit like that with the post coming out.
It's like a stoplight, but if you made it like, how can I say this in a way that doesn't like make it age fucking years? It's like if you made a stoplight but then turned it into a reboot character, or just like any generic data space character, but it was like originally like a Japanese stoplight.
Yeah, which is interesting because the Earth Ignis is like a big blocky boy, and then he like turns into like a weird tree man to duel.
Nature, I guess.
It is Earth, so like
nature.exe,
I guess that's why he's got so much green. Like he's got both the green highlight on his face and then also the post. But Doshin is another pretty common one. It's another level 1 Cyberse, 100 attack, 800 defense. If you control an Ignister, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can target a Cyberse Link monster in your graveyard, return to the extra deck. If you do, add I Love Fusion from your deck to your hand. You can use each effect once per turn. So this one kind of sets up, you know, what it does. It's a fairly generic extender. You just have to control another Ignister, which this deck is all about that. Earlier, you know, I talked about the field spell, which is a free summon and stuff like that. But also, this one specifically fetches your in-archetype fusion spell because the Earth extra deck monster is G-Golem, or is Earth Golem. which is a semi-generic fusion target. Earth Golem at Ignister is sometimes like played as a super poly target because his materials are super generic.
Well, good to know.
So yeah, keep that in mind when we do actually talk about that one later. But Earth is not alone because we also double up with some other guys. There are some bonus Earths representing some other characters. One of which is actually, I think, moderately well known because it has actually been utilized a few times. So this one is, if it'll give it to me. There you go. Gachiri at Ignister. Gachiri is supposed to be, protect, guard. I don't know why you need an onomatopoeia for that, but, here we are. So this is clearly distinctively made up of basically, I want to say, two elements. You've got the shield and you've got the body behind. That's because this references a couple of bonus characters in the earlier seasons. The guys who play Hydra Drive, which is another unreleased archetype.
I'm gonna call myself out for a bit to remember something because this reminded me of Super Heavy, and then I was thinking about I think I remember Super Heavy because I think we looked at some of the cards. Cause I just vaguely remember us talking about Chushin Doji or Musashi, or the blue one that has 2000 defense that after you tap, when you summon it, it turns to defense. For some reason, I remember us talking about that, but that might also have just been us talking about some of the cards, and then I might just remember Rada doing something or something. I don't.
Yeah, we listen. I brought this up earlier. This has been going on for almost 200 episodes. Obviously, not all of those are Yu-Gi-Oh, but we've talked about a lot of cards. Super Heavy was on everybody's mind. I did mention this yesterday in our Discord conversation about it. We have assuredly referenced the Wakaushi engine and the state of other legacy support engines to decks because at some point, we probably talked about the ban list when they banned what was his face, Battle Ball. They really made the Super Heavy FTK type strat work. But we've definitely talked about Super Heavies as an engine, and we may have mentioned, about.
I remember us talking about the fucking Soul Armor and Soul Piercer or something, but maybe I'm just remembering it.
Those guys were part of the combo, so I think we did. I think we have mentioned them as an aside, as here's how you do this. But I mentioned this earlier on stream. I'm pretty sure we haven't talked about Super Heavy in full, just because I know for a fact I'm gonna build that list someday, and I'm gonna find names of monsters that nobody's ever heard of. It's like when I do cubes sometimes, and people look at the card list and they're just like, Omega, this is not a real card in this list, and I'm like, no, yes, that's a real card you're looking at. The database wouldn't let me pick it if it wasn't real. There's stuff going on there. But yeah, the characters this is probably based on, they're not literally known, but it's probably, like I said, these couple of support characters, Bowman and Harmon, who show up.
I know nothing about.
They're like secondary antagonists.
I just know Brains had things going on, but then it kind of just fell apart because they had too many characters and then didn't balance out how using the characters effectively.
Yeah, it does kind of seem like, I'm looking at it, it does kind of seem like they always had the 6 attribute ensemble thing going on, which means that you would need presumably 6 antagonists and 6 protagonists for this whole element thing to work. That's a lot of fucking characters to give equal share of screen time to.
I also know there's a thing about just me, but it's like I just think like I think very little time in Yu-Gi-Oh! How they ever actually treated a female character with like respect equal to the main character that's the main male protagonist. Shocking for Act to say that, but like I guess to me it's just always been like kind of noticeable because like there's really a history of like.
No, I think people do bring that up. That like that's not necessarily a problem in like the original.
Always just kind of get put to the side, but in like the first series, it's just that there wasn't many female characters that actually mattered.
Yeah, and honestly, like I would say in the original, like in the actual manga, that's much less of a concern because the story is shorter. So, like, usually those when female characters show up, they are fairly important, at least to the arcs they're in, and then, get in there. But also, Takahashi was writing about, what he was writing about, so sometimes they kind of, like, fade out. Like, I don't think that, like, Ishizu Ishtar is, like, a bad character. Like, she does lose, her major match against Kaiba. That's because Kaiba literally changes fate. So, like, it's like, what can you do? But the problem is that when we leave that arc, she's just like, okay, cool, going home now, bye. Like,
I mean, in the case of it's also because like all the reason she's there is fine because I think Merrick dies like hours later.
I don't remember if he actually dies or not in the manga. Lots of people do die in the manga.
I at least know that in Merrick, at least for Merrick, at least know it's like the person that he wasn't his original soul, his original consciousness was killed by the older one.
But there's I think people give an impression that Mai is kind of a jobber. She like wins some, lose some, in the various like she off screen anyway, assembles multiple overs her starships and shit. But in the manga, I'm pretty sure her last appearance is getting slurped into turbo hell against Merrick, and we just don't really talk about it anymore because, like I said,
turbo hell. What do you expect?
Not to speak ill of the dead, but I don't think that Takahashi Sensei really like cared about denouement. Like, he didn't really care about aftercare for his characters. The manga is supposed to be like a spooky occult manga.
Well, there was definitely a finale arc where there was like, I think it was like where it became more about games and like this Egyptian battle where I think it was like.
Well, yeah, there's the Shadow World RPG and stuff, but that's like the
no. I mean, there's a manga post to that of like all the things the anime covered where it's like actually a battle. Like a final battle in like under a tomb with like spirit creatures and like ancient like Egyptian trials and shit. That's like the finale, and that's like actually like a finale of the series kind of thing. But
well, yeah, there's there is also the final like memorial duel as well. But yeah, you're not wrong though. We got a little in the weeds there.
Sorry,
I'm also slightly distracted because Lucky's working his way through a speech on the back end. Check out Rain. But you're not wrong that I think that's a criticism that is often leveled, especially at later seasons of Yu-Gi-Oh!, where they have the classic, like, shonen demographic slot problem that female characters are usually not nearly as competent or well-represented in their win rate as male characters, and do have the unfortunate problem that they often job or even, dare I invoke, a writing term that's been overused and people don't like anymore because it's lost all meaning, fridged
I will say,
to cause
in
drama
Brains,
for male characters.
I think that happens once or twice, but I will say they also fridge just other characters. They also fridge other robot characters all the time.
I think there's supposed to be a sub-theme about, the AI characters just kind of die sometimes, and we're supposed to question that. If I'm understanding the themes going on with this.
I also know season 3, like they had to like skip like 2 plot arcs and then go to the final arc they were gonna do over like a 4th season, or something like that.
Yeah, they probably got cut a little short. But yes, so
Nick Cart.
Well, we haven't talked about what Gachiri does at all. I was just mentioning that it's probably referencing some side characters from the 2nd season. Their archetype was called Hydra Drive, and they are these weird lizard guys with, like, shields on their heads. Despite the
it
fact
reminds
that
me of
apparently
there's-
those guys were pretty
there's-
serious antagonists, they're not like represented at all.
I just remember there being a thing of what was it? Right. I remember there being a thing of. Sorry, I'm just trying to remember the exact thing. I remember there being a thing. There was an archetype that's by a guy called Spectre, who was like all these cards that negated each other, or like if the card was negated, they had an effect, but also they had an effect that triggered if you negated a card, or if they were negated, it triggered an effect or something. It was like the drone cards, yeah.
Yeah. No, I think I knew this already, but I'm being re-reminded by a lot of these references in the Ignister. I think I'm sensing that it may be possible that you're not wrong, that Vrains did have a troubled production and is perhaps not popular in its home country of Japan, because there are actually a shitload of unreleased Vrains archetypes.
It's also because there's a lot of them.
I mean, yeah, they had a big character, but Konami literally had, like, OCG Konami literally has a set every year called Animation Chronicle, where they release cards that are in the anime that are not released, and Animation Chronicle are still out here digging up, unreleased cards from, like, fucking GX and 5Ds, where there are, like,
they still haven't made the Gumbo
archetypes.
They still haven't made the Gumbo archetype. I appreciate they gave, actually, one of the Luna's cards, because it's like, she should have had a deck, but again, she also didn't fucking do anything in her own show. Besides, like, once or twice.
5Ds did have some squiggling.
Also, the fact that, like, them doing it, it turned, like, the big swerve they were gonna do, the second half of the show was always planned. I just think honestly, it was just a bad idea.
Probably, yes. That's always the everybody, you always, when I think I should say, when those kinds of
that didn't matter, because that was discovered like after that production was over.
Yeah, that was way later. People like it because it makes more sense in their brains if that was why a show that they really like the front half of but just like the back half suddenly got worse, because people don't want to admit that just they fucked it up. But it happens unfortunately a lot.
It's also the weird thing is Crow's actually the problem. Crow was actually the problem because it turns out he wasn't meant to be originally in there, and they added him, which caused them to cause cascading problems through production. I'm not kidding. Crow actually is the source of the problem.
It's that is a conspiracy theory that people are eager to believe, because Black Wings did feel a little overpushed, but it's like, no, they added an extra guy and he had a shitload of anime cards that they like.
It wasn't intentional, and he was a favorite. He was a favorite of the producer. Like the producer designed him. So like it's a whole thing. It's not really. I don't think it's a full conspiracy, but it's like, no, it's like.
It's the case of the producer's favorite kind of cropped up, and then they changed the whole thing down the line. It just so happened that also his deck, when they started releasing his cards, his deck was a little bit popular, and that also probably didn't hurt Konami's bottom line for that snowball to keep happening. But we'd already pitched the ball down the hill. But what I was to finish that thought earlier, to kind of put a bow on 5Ds there is, like I said, I think people really like to look for reasons why their show takes a sudden turn, but it is just the unfortunate nature of producing something that's going to be X number of production season slot episodes that you run into these problems because you just have issues pacing. It's something I've noticed is super consistent with Gundam.
Another example of this is also the Synchro arc of Arc 5, where the main director went to go work on the third season of Synchro Year for half the arc.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we've told that story a couple times, so we won't go in depth.
It's super hit or miss because people weren't talking to each other, and directors were fighting between each other how the plot was actually supposed to go.
Because you lost the head.
They could pick it back and forth every episode for 20 episodes. I'm not kidding. That's a thing. We're what episode the poor people are bad? What episode the poor people are good? I'm not kidding. I know it's weird to say, but that was what's happening. That's what they were doing.
But yeah, I mentioned it earlier. It's a thing that happens a lot. It's okay. You got a little excited. I think you clipped a little in the microphone, but it's fine.
Sorry.
That's the thing I just mentioned earlier. Also, that I feel like consistently has happened to a lot of Gundam series.
Oh, long-term series like that. Yeah.
It just seems like Gundam's a great example of it, because you run into this problem where you're okay, first half of the show really good. and then either like, oh, budgetary concerns, Sunrise called, we gotta, you're not 50 episodes anymore, you got 40, or shit like that.
I mean, Witch of Mercury, where it was only, I think, 28, I think, and they were planning to, they were doing the whole 52 like pacing. You can kind of tell, like the entire pace was like they were going to go for like fucking 4 cores, but they only got 2.
Because honestly, they shouldn't have aimed for 4 cores, because I don't think that's going to happen again anytime this.
At
least not contiguously.
I think the bit was they had the idea for the first arc planned out because they weren't sure if it was going to go off the green light midway through the first season production. They probably got told they were going to get further, so they just went the whole gambit. And then they got later told that like midway through production of second season that like they couldn't go the whole way, so they had to like rework it, or probably like early in production of season 2, or like they had the whole plot out, but they were too deep in to have it all organized because they had all the voice acting and like storyboards done or something. The part where basically you're too far in, but you can't undo it.
Yeah, and then you're scheduled that. People probably know what Gachiri Ignister does because, like I said, this has actually been in a few different cyber stacks. It's a level 8 Earth Cybers. It's got 0 attack but 3,000 defense. The first time each Cybers monster you control will be destroyed by a card effect each turn, it isn't. Use each effect, the following effects once per turn. Target a Cybers effect monster you control and negate its effects if you do special summon this card from your hand. This card sent from your field to your graveyard. Target a face-up monster you control. It's unaffected until the end of your opponent's turn. So this one has some funny ability with linking off. You can basically get a free extension in response to negating your own monsters. I played this like in super early like live twin myself as just getting an extra guy on the field kind of a thing, and making some of your monsters unaffected. So it's pretty solid. All right, I have to step away, but let me grab the next guy.
Might be leaving in like 5 minutes, so.
All right, it's okay. We got some talk out. I'll throw the next card on stream. Since I will be stepping away, you will probably also have to like permanently step away while I'm gone. In which case, thanks for showing. I'll throw this guy on screen. I am now stepping away, chat. I'll be back in a second. Okay, chat. Sorry about that. Go away. We are once again alone. Let me take down the marker. But yeah, sorry. I had to step out for a second. Nature called. I had to cool down a little bit. It's warm in here. It's a little sweaty. It's still hot outside, unfortunately. I probably should have got myself some more water while I was gone. Maybe I'll run out and do that after we do this card. Fortunately, got a little too distracted talking about anime to actually talk about what the Hydra Drive guys and Gachiri were supposed to do. But it's okay. There's more unreleased archetypes.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello? I'm late.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I kind of figured it would happen because after I added you and you went to a away status for a little bit. It's okay. You didn't miss too much.
Sorry.
I just came back from having a step away, so.
That's fair. What at Ignister is this?
This is
Is this the new
Gusari.
cards? Yeah, this is a new card. Right? This has to be.
I'm pretty sure this is one of the...
Or it's a card I'd never use.
No, this is one of the... It's not the first wave, but this is from Eternity Code. There's a couple of big ones. So let me see. Is this supposed
Because
to
the
be
thing about
guy?
Ignister as a deck is it's very, very odd because I feel like it uses more of the main deck than most archetypes do. But there are also certain cards you never use, and this is one of them. Sorry to Gusari, but
Yeah.
it's just not very good. Also, it's kind of weird with the art. Like, I don't know. Doesn't really fit with, like, the other ones.
Yeah,
as
so
well.
Gusardi and the previous one we just got off of before you joined us, Dallas, was Gachiri. Those are based off, like, antagonists from previous seasons of Reigns.
Yeah. This is, I think, the
so
second
I think they have some
antagonist,
more,
which Phoebe is the first.
more sinister looks. So, Gusari, by the way, is I've mentioned this to chat, but to let you know also if you didn't know, all of their names, the main deck monsters' names, are like different onomatopoeias. So Gusari is the onomatopoeia of striking.
Oh no, trust me, I know they're all fucking comic book noises. Or Common Rider noises, if you want to be very of how I know them. But no, Gachiri is actually used a lot. I think you run it one of, but I've never seen a competent deck list without running it.
Yeah. No, that's
So,
yeah, that card's vital. I even mentioned that because it's technically generic to Cyberses. That like I remember using Gachiri at Ignister in like early live twin builds when it was just the two smalls.
Is a very odd deck where you run 3 of 2 of them, and then like 9 or 10 1-ups.
Yeah, so the ones previously to catch you up, Dallas, because we're still in the middle of the main deck. I did them in the first wave in alphabetical order. So we've talked about Achichi, Abururu, Doyon, Donyoremo,
Doyon,
Doshin, and then Gachiri. Out of those, I feel like
Donyorimon used to be run, but with all the support, it's kind of gotten phased out.
That's what I
Achichi's
thought.
Achichi's a 3 of.
It's your
It's
straight
one of the
outs.
2 3 ofs. Shouldn't be surprising to anyone. Bururu is mandatory.
A type card. Yeah,
It's
it's
a
a
tuner.
tuner. Yeah.
So, I mean, there are builds of like. So there's an elephant in the room we probably should talk about. The most common build of Ignister is Ignister Mathmech. I don't particularly like Ignister Mathmech because I think it's a little boring. And I prefer running either pure Ignister, or I even enjoy Ignister Firewall is another fun one, but that's kind of just Ignister with like weird cyber support cards. I've even found Ignister Malice to be more fun than Ignister Mathmech. Just because.
Listen, I know Mathmech's a very popular deck. It's a very linear deck. Your goal is to make technically they have 2 goals. I should give them that. The goal is either when they added it, you make a fuck-off huge Firewall Dragon Singularity, who's like a super turbo win more card because you have a shitload of monsters on the board, or previously it's stick a Final Sigma, your opponent can't out this guy, and the game is over. That's
obviously
I can
there are
understand
still
why
some...
you would have overlap with Ignister, because that's very similar to the pure Ignister strategy of stick an enormous arrival cyber set Ignister, the game is over. But
like there is one Ignister card,
differences.
or sorry, not Ignister. There is one Mathmech card I do run, because it's very good, and unfortunately it's vital to making very dumb extra deck plays. Which is, I do frequently run Alan Burton.
Yeah, Alan Burton's just a good guy to run.
And also I run, I do run Subtraction. A lot of people run Circular.
Circular's a pretty
It's
good card for
boring.
Cyberses in general, but it's more limited. Also, one thing has been a consistent sub-theme of this, Dallas, is realizing all the archetypes that the different Ignisters also reference, and like how many of them are just straight up not printed. Like Bururu is based off the Wind Ignis, so that AI character in Vrains had a whole archetype of like Wind Cybers monsters. None of those have ever been printed. Apparently, Topologic Bomber Dragon had a whole support archetype called Topologina under it. That's just that's nowhere. That's just nowhere.
Nope.
That's weird,
dude. I could write a book about how much, like, look, I'm trying to be nicer to Konami, but they make it so hard. They make it so difficult to be kind to them. Konami fumbled the bag with the implementation of Arc V and Vrains into the TCG so badly that I think it unironically led to how less watched the anime was. I unironically think how badly they fumbled integrating those 2 series helped with how they basically canceled the animes after that because of low numbers.
I mean, it could also be a kind of a chicken and egg. When Axe was here earlier for a little bit, obviously he has his normal Tuesday scheduling. It did bring up that like Vrains is another one of those shows where they had a troubled production. You know, like they planned this out, but clearly didn't have enough episodes to give all their characters screen time, so they ended up with like crunched character arcs and like switching stuff around at the last minute.
That's true.
So it could be that like the anime was underfunded and poorly made, and thus there was no appeal to put the cards in the card game, because usually, obviously, the decks hit in the anime first and then get brought over, and just Vrains just skips so much shit.
If that is honestly true, I question Yu-Gi-Oh players' taste. Because if Vrains is somehow, like, in people's opinion, like, an unwatchable anime, I've seen what Yu-Gi-Oh players say is good anime, and they like 5Ds, which is a terrible fucking anime.
Well, Dallas, they like the front half of 5Ds. That's another thing I was talking about with Axe, is that, there's a lot of conspiracy theories to get out there.
The front half of 5Ds is still bad.
I haven't
It's
actually
still
sat
bad.
down and watched it, so
It's
I have
not
no strong
good.
opinions. But people fondly remember the front half of 5Ds and acknowledge that the back half was bad, and they try to invent a like a narrative for why their beloved 5Ds would be bad later.
The cult
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
No, it's just a bad anime. Like,
and I think that, like, funnily enough,
if by the front half people mean the first like 10 episodes before it started jumping the shark into like there's a mythical demon cult running the city, then yes, no, the first 10 episodes of 5Ds are fine in terms of storyline. But after that, it just is a wreck.
And from what I understand, Zexal is usually thought of the other way, where like people had a hard time getting into it because the front half was pretty weak. It was very like return to original Yu-Gi-Oh form, kind of kiddie.
The first 20 episodes are very rough.
Yeah, a little childish, like really hamming the kid audience, and then it kind of finds its dark, edgy Yu-Gi-Oh center.
I would say it's the first quarter, honestly, because once it gets into the world tournament and children are being tortured, there is no kid friendliness anymore.
I really need to watch Arc 5 at some point, just because I know that one has troubled production, but there also seem like there's some really, like, I'll occasionally still see the scene where, like, the Supreme King mode overtakes Yuya to summon, Odd-Eye's Raging Tempest Dragon, and, like, there will be no next turn, blows those two, Dimension Clone girls out of the water. It's like... The show clearly had aura and hype moments. I'm just wondering, did it have any connective tissue, or was it just
lost?
Arc
V is such a weird anime. Like I'm a huge Vrains defender because I think Vrains is actually a really good story, particularly the ending. I think, if anything, that would be the reverse 5Ds, where I think the ending is phenomenal, or the last arc is phenomenal. But Arc V is just like the most inconsistent in the most inconsistent way. Like, there's no point I can point to as like, this is the good part and this is the bad part. It's just kind of like all over the place. I don't know. Arc V is... I liked parts of it. I really hate other parts of it.
What always seemed the most interesting to me in Arc V, not Arc V, in Vrains, is that they took the card game the most seriously, which is really interesting. And for all that it counts, it's not like it's so weird, but like genuinely, it sounds like Rush and Go Rush are like, both in terms of taking their card game seriously and also like character moments and splitting stuff up. They seem really strong. Maybe Original Rush more so than Go Rush. I do kind of feel like I haven't heard anything about Go Rush in a while. I do want to say that, like, obviously what we're seeing out of Konami's main animation studio now is that, like, the Albaz stuff is cute, but like the audience yearns for a 22-minute episode with 2 minutes for OP and ED. Like this sub 10 minutes shit is not cutting it. But also, anime production is expensive and complicated and has a labor shortage. So I don't know if Konami, who, keep in mind, started a brand new animation studio to field this Yu-Gi-Oh project, I don't know if they have the fucking throughput to do that. Anyway, Gusari at Ignister is another Earth Cybers level 8. I don't know why there's so many Earth at Ignisters to start. It's 3K, 3K. When a Link monster is destroyed by battle, you can special summon this card from your hand. That's probably why this card was not played. We were already past that shit in 2020. When your Link monster destroys an opponent's monster in battle, you can inflict damage to your opponent equal to that destroyed monster's original attack. There's the burn effect I was looking for. Donyoribo has a effect where it can banish itself from the graveyard to double burn damage you do, and I'm like, I don't remember there being burn damage at Ignister, but it must be somewhere. It's on a card that's not played. That's why I don't remember it.
Donyoribo is not played. Onmari is played, but that's a different one.
Gusari's also banish effect is when attack is created involving a Link monster you control an opponent's monster, you can banish this card from your graveyard. The attack of those monsters becomes 3K, so they end up destroying each other. You can use each effect once per turn.
That is... Okay.
This
do
is
I have to tell you why this is awful?
No. I know why this is awful. To explain it to chat at home, the primary thing is, so this is a big fucking guy, right? Neat. Okay. You're playing a deck that is primarily focused around either Link climbing
big fucking...
or it's extra deck access. Like it has access to all the extra deck types.
like there are a couple different things you can do to make your end board, but regardless of which route you choose, pretty much all of them end on big fucking dude.
So a extra big fucking guy that is summoned when you a special summon when a link monster is destroyed by battle. You're already in the battle phase. You're probably already. It's especially again for when this originally came out in 2020. If you're going to the battle phase, it's probably already over. Once again, this card, it came out in Eternity Code. This is the same set that produced Access Code Talker.
The average attack points for monsters, for the end board, the lowest possible, I believe, is 3,500 for end board monsters. But also that's Firewall Singularity Dragon, so it's like more than that.
So Gusari strikes me as like, I get what they're going for with like the antagonists, you know, the previous antagonists, I should say, kind of become these like big, strong, you know, enemy type guys that are intimidating. Gachiri is useful because Gachiri is protection and also is a really fucking easy special summon. And you're playing pure Ignisters, you just target a Chi-Chi after you've already activated its on summon effect. Ooh, he's negated, who cares? Like, it's free extension in your extra deck focused deck. Gusari is not free extension, and also Gusari's graveyard effect sucks. It just guarantees a crash. Oh no, I guess I punish my opponent by crashing. The attack of those monsters becomes 3k.
Yeah, the reason why Gachiri's protection effect is cool, and it has come up a couple of times, but primarily the reason Gachiri is played is it's an earth element, which matters, and it's
a free special.
It's a free special pretty much, because there's a lot of the Adignisters just enter battlefield and do their effect.
Yeah.
And then they're done.
All right, so next is the water one, the wet one.
Yes.
Hiyari at Ignister.
Hiyari.
Which for everybody is different from Bururu's shivering. Hiyari is chilly. Ooh, it's cold. Hiyari.
Mm-hmm.
And we're back to little blobs. This one kind of looks like a seashell.
Yep. This is one of the like main like all the little blobums are like the main Adignisters, I would say.
And primarily represent the other Ignis AIs.
Yeah.
So this one is linked with the AI known as Aqua.
Yes, which I think is the oh god, she goes like 5 different decks, doesn't she? The Marincess player.
Yeah, she ends
I
up
believe.
partnered with the one who plays Marincess.
Yeah.
I don't think she plays a deck on her own.
Oh no, the AI. The only one AI becomes a person who duels.
Earth has.
Well, I guess the other two are technically mind controlling people, so
there's some stuff going on. But yeah, so.
But yeah, Hiyari is a one-off. It's a good card.
Yeah. Another level 1 Cyberse, 300, 400. We just all have a bunch of different attack and defense stats to keep it mixed up, I guess. Hiyari has the effect that if you control an Ignister, you can special summon it from your hand. I believe that's the same effect that Doshin, the Little Earth one, has. So, you know. Earth and Water got a thing going on. You can tribute one other Cyberse monster at a level 5 or higher at Ignister from your deck to your hand. If you do, this card becomes level 4 until the end of this turn. If you tributed a Link monster to activate this effect, you can add Eyes Ritual from your deck to your hand. You can only use each effect once per turn. So, hey, the water, it's not an extra deck monster, but the water one is the Ritual monster,
yeah.
So.
And I do actually run the Ritual monster.
If I remember correctly, Water Leviathan is actually a good card.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Like, I think
like none of the cybers. It's really kind of funny. None of the cybers like you would think all these things are kind of memes. None of them are bad. Like I think we'll talk about Water Leviathan later. So
yeah. We'll talk about all of them. I think the only one that I don't usually see like in a deck list somewhere is Fire Phoenix, and that's just because. Yeah. A fire link monster is like there's 9 million Salamangreats, so you just
so basically Fire Phoenix actually used to be pretty standard in every deck, and then Cold Talker Heat Soul came out, and now it's just
yeah. We came up with a different guy for its niche, but other than that, they are
unfortunately Decode Talker Heat Soul is just better.
I think he's bad now. If they'd actually released him like in a timely manner, like when he was, because he was like delayed out of the TCG for like I want to say almost like 2 years. Like if it had come out in like 2020, you know, which would have been the appropriate time for it to come out, probably would have been fine. Now it's just like copium.
Wait, for which one?
Heat Soul.
Oh, Heat Soul is awful in Salamangreat. It's just amazing in Cyber Ignister because it summons an Ignister from deck.
That's good.
And it's just part of the link train. Part of the link train. Just keep on going.
And then finally, Picari Ignister, which obviously Picari is.
This is the other three of. Yes, and I believe it's a reference to White Magician Picaro, if I'm not mistaken, considering it has her hat.
Probably, there's a few going on. It also, it says it resembles the, it does kind of resemble Plumbum Trident, but we don't want to say that because that's funny.
Oh, yeah.
Because guess what? The Light Ignister played Armatos Legio, which I do believe is still fake. I think they talked about maybe they would eventually get around to printing those, but they're still not out either. Yeah, chat was actually talking about it earlier, yeah. And like I said, there's a whole lot of interesting archetypes in Vrains that weren't printed, and I don't know if it's just because of like Link Monster fatigue, but maybe like I said, maybe we'll actually.
Well, I will
actually,
say
no, I should
there are
say
certain. There are certain archetypes in Vrains that are just not balanced. That they could never print. It's really funny. The archetype that like the kind of mooks use at one point is just completely broken and would make Yu-Gi-Oh players cry.
Which one is that?
It's a Floodgate, the Floodgate archetype. I can't remember what it's called.
I know that there's some concern with like the drone archetype has this weird thing where like it has effects that. Is it? Okay, I was gonna say because drone is the one I'm pretty sure that has effects that proc when they are negated, which is just like a ruling headache.
Yeah, but then they also negate everything. Like,
yeah, they're like they're supposed to counter. I think God, I forgot their name for a second. The spellcaster guys, loved by Mr. Douglas Zeef. Altergeist.
Yeah,
there we go.
Trickstar. Oh, Altergeist.
No, Trickstar doesn't really do a lot of negating. Trickstar's burning. There doesn't need to be a counter to Trickstar because the girl who played Trickstar stopped playing Trickstar to play Marinsas.
That's true.
Because Yu-Gi-Oh is weird. But yeah, Armatos Legio is one of those things that's just like not represented at all. And as far as I can tell, I'm pretty sure could be. Like, I don't think there's anything stopping that one. It's like the I forget now what they were actually called. Let me open up the Wind Ignis's character page. Wimdy. Yeah, plays Storm Rider, so Wind Cyburst, that have effects that manipulate the opponent's spell trap zone and then negate like link monsters and stuff. I'm like, that's probably you could work with. I don't think the Yu-Gi-Oh playing base would hate a Yu-Gi-Oh deck based around whatchamacallit, a link-based deck that's anti-link monsters, you know?
Yeah.
But Picari is the reason why Dallas says it's another 3 of, so this is another level 4. It's light, obviously. 1200 attack, 600 defense. If this card's normal to special summon, add an spell trap from your deck to your hand. You can target an Ignister you control its level becomes 4 until the end of this turn. You can use each effect once per turn. So it is your Spell Trap Searcher on summon. And also, it's a level fixer. Why is it a level fixer? Because, hey, guess what? The light one is the Xyz. So, like, all of these,
that is
like,
another card
work together.
you don't play anymore. Because, hey, guess what's another level 4 Cyberst Xyz monster that searches from deck?
Bathmex.
Alimbertion.
Yeah. Now, I believe that Light Dragon was pretty good once upon a time, but is now kind of...
It was.
It's still generic, so you still see it in some stuff, but it's definitely, like, not a crazy entrant to the team. But let's start talking about them. It's time to talk about our original wave of the extra deck.
Yep. I believe the first would be well, technically it'd be a rival Cybers. But do you want to talk about that last if we're doing alphabetical order?
Yeah, and there is a debate if we would put the but then we'd still talk about the W's. But we should talk about a rival Cybers at the end. So we'll start at Dark Templar.
Yeah. Well, we should do Dark Baby first. Start with the beginning.
Did Dark Infant actually come out first?
I can't remember.
I think they took a while to print Dark Infant. Let me double check the print dates.
Oh, we also can't talk about Dark Infant without talking about the field spell. So, yeah, let's do Dark Templar then, I guess.
started by talking about the field spell.
Oh, we talked about the field spell. Okay, then yeah, let's do Dark Infant because that's the start of the combo. I'm just doing this in combo order in my head. Like, what do I do first?
We can. We'll do an audible. It took them about a year to print Dark Infant, which is funny, but yeah, it is pretty important to the combo.
Yeah.
Because hey, guess what, chat? Dark Infant at Ignister is the link one that searches the field spell.
Yeah.
Wild, I know. And having shown on screen for a second, Dark Templar, you will kind of see Dark Infant is kind of like the baby to Dark Templar. Dark Templar is this guy, but big.
Spoiler, I believe the 3 dark ones all are kind of like evolutions.
Yeah. Shows. Actually ended up with 2 versions
Dark
of
Baby!
Dark Infant at Ignister is a Dark Cybers Link. It's got a left-facing arrow, 500 attack, 1. Its only materials required are 1 non-link at Ignister monster, doing a very good job with the mats here to make the link one that searches the field spell. Not everybody can be Blue Eyes and give them a link one that searches the field spell. It says a level 4 or lower spellcaster or dragon monster. Anyway, if you link summon Dark Infant, you can add Ignister Island from your deck to your hand. When a Cybers monster with 2300 original attack activates its quick effect, move this card to your main monster zone this card points to. Then you can change it to any attribute until you end of this turn. You can use each effect once per turn.
So, in my opinion, and obviously there are a lot of different ways to build this deck, mostly to do with the extra deck, honestly. This is the only extra deck card I would ever consider running 2 of in the entire deck. Everything else is a 1 of.
Yeah, I will say, because it's moving an attribute fixing effect. I don't think you can pull off if you start by EMZing it, because it's moved to a zone that this card points to, so it can't scooch. It can't scoot from the EMZ.
No. But generally, you want to so you can link it and move it later. You don't need to, because unfortunately, because of if you could make a 7 material link monster, it would be way better, because you can change its attribute to divine.
Yeah, but you physically cannot.
But you can't physically make that, so it's a lot less good. The attribute changing. Just the fact that this searches the field spell and the deck literally doesn't work without the field spell is reason enough to run.
Yeah, the field spell, we showed it at the top, but the field spell lets you basically, so long as your MMZ are cleared Sky Striker style, you can keep summoning out guys so long as they are not the same attribute.
Yep.
So you can keep
Continue
extending.
the conga line.
Which, because ideally this is a deck with link climbing elements, or just extra deck spam in general, is good. You want more mats.
There are basically two different things you have to worry about with the extra deck, and that is there's link climbing monsters like Arrival. We'll talk about them later. But Arrival, Cyberus, Ignister, or what is it? Firewall Dragon Singularity.
Yep.
And then there's also Firewall Dragon Dark Fluid method, which is getting different types of monsters into the graveyard. So like Fusion, Link, Ritual. Like I've gotten a Dark Fluid with 4 counters before, which is really fun because you can then attack your opponent for 10,000 damage.
That is a fun one, yeah.
And they
Vesper and I did talk about Firewall Dragon, so yeah, Dark Fluid and stuff are really interesting.
Dark Fluid is a mainstay in this deck.
Honestly, there's a really cute deck for, like, Firewall Dragon in there that I feel like was kind of hamstrung by the fact that the OG Firewall Dragon was a fucking nightmare card of just, oops, we fucked it up. And so had to be banned, and so, like, several options to build out, like, specific Firewall Dragon support was delayed until they eroded him. Which, you talked about clanning on Konami a little. This is something I talked about at the front of the show to buy a little time, but I'll mention it now that you're actually here. It turns out that the format's not actually fine.
Oh, it's not?
People have seen the results from Anaheim. And, yeah, so apparently, Yummy Mitsurugi is now very popular. If you take the slight hits to Yummy and the slight hits to Mitsurugi and smack them together, you make a functional good deck. The event, though, was won by Crystron K9, which apparently not enough hits were done to the Crystron or K9 half of that to make that matter. That just became the dominant one. And it turns out that there's a lot of hand trap turbo. Like, just a lot of hand traps are back to being good. Like, at shutting out the game. Like, you just auto lose if your opponent... if you're going first and your opponent activates Fuelos, you just lose, basically. In this format, because you have no counterplay. No. And also, guess what, Dallas? Because Yu-Gi-Oh! Players are nerds who don't get shoved in enough lockers, we figured out how to give your opponent a monster that locks them out of the game again. It's Artifact Mjolnir.
Okay.
Basically, I believe it's...
I will say this.
You make the rank 5
I don't know what they put in the water at Yu-Gi-Oh! Conventions. I don't know how Yu-Gi-Oh! Players are so much more degenerate than Magic players.
I brought this up earlier. I don't know why. It's because it's not real. It's all bragging rights. Like, there's no cash prize involved. You're literally doing it just so you can say you won a YCS, and it's like...
I would expect the game that got cash prizes to be the more degenerate one, but no. Fuck me, I guess.
I don't know. Maybe if they
just do it for the love of the game.
Maybe if they offered cash prizes, like, Yu-Gi-Oh! Would feel like it had to be more professional in the list. I don't know, but yeah, you can make the rank 5... You can make the rank 5, what's her face? The rank 5 Imperial Princess Conquieri, and she just gives your opponent a level 5, and so you give them Artifact Mjolnir via Dagda, and just, they're fucked again.
Christ.
It's the Gimmick Puppet lockout and the Sanctifier locked out all over again. It's just like, I don't know, man.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Players, sometimes you cause your own problems. You know this, correct?
Well, yeah. Another thing
Here's the thing: there are degenerate cards in Magic. There are cards in Magic that are more degenerate than anything Yu-Gi-Oh! Has ever printed. You know what we don't do with them? Play them for the most part. Because they don't they're not conducive to ending the game. They just piss everyone off.
Yeah, I feel like that's a thing that, like, hasn't clicked in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is that, like, Magic has this very strong, like, kitchen table opt-out philosophy of just, like, hey, what if we didn't? We didn't. This card doesn't do anything. It's just really annoying. We just don't.
If you play Winter Orb, we come for your kneecaps. That's the house rule.
And Yu-Gi-Oh! Is truly, like, anything goes. It's not cheating if you don't get caught. If the rules say I can summon this card, who cares? I'll make 5
cheating
VFDs.
If you don't get they're not cheating if you don't get caught. That is also in Magic. That is also a problem. But the degenerate card strategies is much more of a Yu-Gi-Oh thing, I've noticed, because I'm like, what the
I will say, at
hell,
least there was a
guys?
funny story about Genesis. They had a side event at the YCS where it was specifically Stevie Blunder, if you know who that is, Chet. But
I
he built
did hear about this.
he built a Genesis last turn deck because last turn's only 75 points. It was actually Dinomorphia last turn, which makes it work very well.
See, that's funny, though. Like that's an actual like.
It is funny,
deck.
but Konami clearly saw this coming and assigned a judge to follow Stevie around to issue rulings on the spot. Because last turn is a card that hasn't been printed in like 20 years.
But here's the thing. I at least appreciate that he made a deck that was like, no, I want to make this card work, and I'm going to build an actual deck around it. His deck wasn't like, I just want to... Well, I mean, maybe a little bit. I know his personality, so it might be a little bit I want to piss people off. But it doesn't seem as bad as some of these, like,
it seemed like Stevie, yes, wanted to make a deck that was turbo annoying for everybody involved, but wanted to make a functional deck that did it. So last turn Dinomorphia, turbos it out, which is very funny using like Trapaholic and stuff to set it up. So far, what we've learned, according to the head judge at the event, hey chat, you can Ash last turn because it summons your deck.
Also, you cannot last turn into who was the guy that people used to say is the way you kill people?
Jagan the Spiritualist? Yeah.
Yeah, you just can't do that.
Yeah, that one they resolved in a blog post like a week ago. They just said that, like, hey, so in Yu-Gi-Oh, you can't activate effects that you know can't be resolved. So if your opponent's not allowed to special summon, you can't activate last turn because last turn's effect requirement is your opponent summons a monster.
Which makes perfect sense, and I'm glad they clarified that, because that always annoyed me about last turn. It's like, why is this the only effect you're allowed to activate when you can't?
Well, yeah, it's one of those things where, like, they banned last turn for being an annoying piece of shit card, like, 20 years ago. Well, it turns out we've got new scholarship, chat, so maybe we'll get a PCST last turn.
Maybe it's me. I don't think last turn is nearly as annoying piece of shit as some cards. Like, to me, the two biggest annoying cards are pole position, which they've resolved by, if you do the pole position loop, we kill you.
Yeah. The judge physically comes over to your table, picks up pole position, and rips it in half.
Yeah.
And then assigns you a game loss because your deck list isn't correct.
And Last Will, which I'm pretty sure was written by someone who is ESL.
Yeah, that's probable.
English as second language. Last
Will, I'm pretty sure was originally an anime card, but yeah, it's very weird. Also, though, nobody's actually tested it, but it sounds like based on the last turn effect, because Last Will is an effect that hypothetically lets you summon from deck later, Last Will should be Ash Blossomable as well.
Which is good.
So that's the hey.
Honestly, if last turn is Ash Blossomable, I think that card could maybe come off the list.
Yeah, we would just need the non-Genesis TCG department to be like, yes, this is our official ruling going forth.
This is just a rulings paperwork for this card. Here, consult the paperwork.
And like I said, maybe we're printing retro cards. Maybe we can get a new printing of Last Turn with some PCST. Actually, make that shit make sense. Anyway, Dark Templar at Ignister has been on screen for a little bit. It's baby but big.
Oh, it's Templar now?
Yeah, we put Templar up a while ago. Big ass thighs. Honestly, I'm pretty sure that's what we're going for, but Dark Templar just looks like an evil code talker.
Yes. Spoiler for Vrains. This is the deck that is used by the main character's AI friend, who is also the final villain. Yeah,
if I understand correctly,
very sad.
Yes, very sad. Literally, the two the SFX that the two Ignisters that reference him are is like Doyon is like depression or something.
Yeah, it's depression
Sadness.
And silence.
But yeah, basically the way I understand it is I ends up losing all of his AI brethren either by the action of our protagonist or the antagonists, and he's just like, man, shit sucks. Anyway, I'm evil now.
Yeah, well, no, it's not just I'm evil now. It's like basically, so the main plot of Reigns is kind of like the main character works for like a super secret government organization that accidentally created a bunch of AI and then was like, all right, we have to kill all of them, like systematically. Don't listen to anything they say or any protests they have. Just kill them. And then they do that, and yeah, I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna blow up the city now. Fuck all of you. It's very depressing. Look, in the very biggest tradition of Yu-Gi-Oh shows, it starts out as a very goofy show, and then just gets really depressing towards the end. And I think it's only the second show to deal with like genocide and the retribution for genocide. Spoiler, that's also a theme in Zexal.
Yeah. Oh, so there was a trap card called Card of Last Will, but Last Will itself wasn't an anime card. Okay. So that is just somebody just made that shit up. Yeah. Dark Templar, though, is a Link 3 with 2300 attack. Again, he's very clearly an evil, specifically because he's dark. He's an evil decode talker, but he's an evil code talker. Back 3 arrows, 3 monsters with different names. If a monster is special summoned to a zone this card's point to, even during the damage step, special summon as many level 4 or lower Ignisters from your graveyard as possible to zones this card points to, but their effects are negated. When this card destroys points by battle, you can special summon a Cyberse monster from your graveyard. You can use each effect once per turn. So this is just make enough Link material to make a really big Arrival Cyberse.
Yeah, this is just kind of a middle piece thing.
Yeah, this is the card you extend into your final piece. Like, so long as you set him up and then special summon a guy to a zone he points to, you can special summon probably 2 more guys to zones he points to, and you get 4 mats on the board. Whee! Honestly, at this step, the like destroy by battle special summon a guy thing is probably never happening.
Right. Oh, I forgot about this. The way that they created the AI was by torturing children and creating AI based on their consciousness after torturing them by dueling. And every time they dueled and they lost, they would get electric shocks.
Yes. Highly ethical. Wow, Reigns is super prescient, huh?
Look. Yeah, no, if they lost, they would not get any food or water. So that will obviously create very, like, mentally stable, well-working AI, correct? We are very smart.
Like I said, wow, Reigns is super prescient. It's almost like just like our fucking real life where people were like, ooh, we've developed this new artificial intelligence, language modeling technology. Surely nothing can go wrong from just feeding the entirety of the human consciousness into a machine and telling it to make patterns, right? Oh no!
Well, I mean,
our AI is a Redditor.
Oh my god.
Our AI is a suicidal, overworked Redditor.
Look, how could this guy ever be evil? How could this man ever be an evil scientist? I mean, really? He looks so trustworthy.
I gotta show you, Chad.
Sorry, I showed Dr. Genome. Yes, that's his name.
World's most trustworthy man, chat. Here, hold on.
Very nice man.
There we go. Let me scooch him a little more. Now he's looking you over, chat. He's watching you constantly. You better do better.
I like that I was the final villain because it makes perfect sense. But I think they also should have killed the corporation. I do agree they should have been the penultimate villain. Because they're fucking evil.
Yeah, they're bad. Bad news bears. But Dark Templar, like I said, very, very, very strong extender into this setup. And then, as we mentioned, there are a bunch of different extra deck monsters with different attributes that do different things, several of which you will have heard of. Going alphabetically first, after Dark Templar, Earth Golem at Ignister. It's Golem. It's Earth. So this one obviously references the Earth at Ignister, who was the G-Golem guy. He also got access to G-Golem Crystal Heart because of the thing with the Aqua, the Water AI, so, we're all back in there together. And it's kind of similar to Cyber's Clock Dragon as well. But design-wise, he's a big golem with a crystal heart. Got it. I don't know why he has feet that are hands. Don't like that. But other than that, pretty good art. He's just kind of a rock Gundam. A Grundam.
I really like this card, personally. I've had a lot of good... this card has won me more games than it ever has any right to. Because people just don't think about it.
Yeah, this card is like, even outside of Ignisters, where I believe it is because you not only have a Fusion Searcher one of you can run, but have several other options. This card shows up in a lot of generic extra decks because this is a Super Poly target. Earth Golem is a level 7 Earth Cyberse Fusion, 2300 attack, 2k defense. Materials are just 1 Cyberse, 1 Link Monster. Hey, does your opponent play Link Monsters? And you play Cyberse? Easy suck. Hey, does your opponent play their own Cyberse or Link Monster deck? Also easy suck.
Yeah.
And also, obviously, is super easy to make in Archetype. And then, also, first of all...
You can also do...
Good.
You can also do some really funny stuff with the Destroy condition.
Yeah, so, first of all, I also want to say this card makes a great Super Poly target because after this card is Fusion Summoned, you take no damage for the rest of this turn. Great card to make on your opponent's turn. Just be like, nah, I'm not losing this turn, bud. Yeah. If this card attacks a monster that's special summoned from the extra deck, gains attack equal to its original attack during the damage step only. So it is an honest on itself. That is important to remember. Original attack only.
Would it be okay if we talked about the Fusion card? Because that's kind of important.
Yeah, we can talk about it in parallel. We'll probably do that the same for the ritual.
I love Fusion.
Yes. I'll grab it.
By the way, the names for the Ignister spell cards are the best, and I will hear no arguments.
Yeah, that's why I said earlier that I have all of the AI spell traps, just because I was like, chat, guess what? You have to deal with the puns. But to finish out Earth Golem, when this card is destroyed by battle, target a Cyberse in your graveyard except Earth Golem special summon it. You can only use this effect once per turn.
Yeah.
So
you can do some pretty fun stuff with this.
Honest, it extends. If your opponent does run it over, it still like recovers, and also it is a damage protection.
I would say it's probably the weakest of the 4 elemental bosses, but it is let me win with weird gimmicky shit so often. And a lot of that is because of I Love Fusion.
Yes, hold on.
Yeah.
Right, we're pulling it up.
I know the effect by heart.
I'm trying to pull up the image, but I've accidentally clicked Save As, which is making my computer fucking crunched.
Oh, oops. Rip.
Because it's got to, I don't know, build the index of wherever the fuck my save file destination is. Please stop that. I don't even want you to do that, honestly, computer.
Yeah.
But we're stuck in limbo. Can't access anything.
Yeah. Do you want me to say what it does in the meantime?
Sure, go ahead, just so we don't have dead air.
Yeah, so it lets you fusion summon one, I believe it's Cyberse only fusion monster from your extra deck, using monsters from your hand or field as material. Pretty standard. However, if you use an Ignister monster as fusion material, you can also use one link monster your opponent controls as material. So yes, they have a Super Poly at home, definitely, but a Super Poly at home nonetheless.
Which is still searchable.
That is searchable.
Yeah.
Yes. That's the other important part, is like, it is a Super Poly, and it is worse than Super Poly. But in a way, it's kind of better. Not better. It's good because you can search the fusion spell.
Yes. So, oh my god, computer. What? Do something. What is your fucking problem right now?
Yeah, Ignister decks are full of cards that are like, this is worse than a real card, but it's better because we can search it.
Yeah, you can actually utilize it.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I fucking know. Sorry, I'm just hating the way Windows works about things. It's like, oh, blong, blong, pling, plong. Yeah, I know that you're doing something else. I don't want you to do that. Why is it like a core level interrupt can't interact with the underlying thing if I accidentally click save image as? Which nobody even likes, but that would require the like guys who make Windows operating systems to care about anything. Assuming those guys haven't all been replaced with robots anyway, I don't think they've cared about the actual customer experience in years. I didn't actually have to remove Golem, but we will just to change things up because it was stuck on that screen for a while. But yeah, there's what it looks like.
Yep, it's also great art. It's two little copies of I being fused together.
No, a great forming a heart as well, but it's a great callback. But yeah, a great way for you to make Golem, but also just sometimes make other shit if you needed to.
I will also say I do think Vrains has one of the best dubs because for obvious reasons there are a lot of characters who are really like chatty just about random stuff in Vrains, so they got to have a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I'll just say that.
Well, and I assume
it's also
also
with GX in terms of I love the dub.
Specifically, I would assume that the AI characters don't have mouth flaps to match because they don't look like they have mouths. So that gives the dubbing studio a lot of flexibility.
Flaps.
Gives the dubbing team a lot of flexibility.
Don't have mouth flaps. It's very fun. But yeah, no. Like I said, this isn't a really standard card for a lot of people. I like to run it because I'm a fan of super polying things away.
Yeah.
And most decks now have link monsters.
It's a card that is conditionally good, but it's very easily searchable, like literal multiple ways. Was it Doshin or was it the other one? Yes, Doshin.
It's Doyan, I believe. Oh, Doshin.
Yeah, Doshin.
You can search it with Doshin.
Doshin searches. You can also search it with Picati because it's an AI card, and several other ways. It is a fusion card. It has fusion in the name, so there's like a bunch of generic fusion spell supporters that can search it. So it's a really accessible card that you can choose to like affix your ratios of. And worst comes to worst, you could always like if your opponent is truly playing no link monsters for you to use, and you're just like, okay, fine, we sideboard it out. So Fire Phoenix at Ignister, obviously like referencing Salomon Great. Literally one of the Salomon Great classics is Raging Phoenix. That's one of their link 4s.
Yeah, because the Salomon Great player, who I always get character names mixed up. Soulburner. Yeah, spoiler, all the characters in Vrain's names are fucking stupid and I love them.
I mean, I think it makes sense because they're supposed to be, like, usernames on, like, the World Wide Web or some shit, which is like, yeah, of course. These guys are gonna have dumb names. Playmaker, Soulburner. Isn't the Rocket guy just called Revolver?
Yes, Revolver. That I can... Well, it's also because, you want to know his real name?
Awesome.
No, Soulburner's real name.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know it, so.
It's Takaru Hamura in the Japanese version, but I love the fucking dumb nickname, which is Theodore Hamilton.
Yeehaw!
Look, the names of the show are... Mwah. Chef's kiss.
There's certainly an art to a few of those. But the Fire Phoenix is a Link 3 Cyberse. It's a Fire Phoenix. Don't really have much else to say. It's a pretty good-looking Fire Phoenix, but it is what it says on the tin. It has T-shaped arrows, so, left and right and back. 2300 attack, Link 3. You see a lot of 23s, because of the parallels. Your mats are any 2+ Cyberse monsters. During damage cook, if this card attacks, you can inflict damage to your opponent equal to this card's attack. If you do, your opponent takes no battle damage from the battle. If this card is destroyed by a card effect, destroy one monster your opponent controls. Which makes sense for, I believe it's Achichi's graveyard effect, is you can destroy your own attacking monster. So you can blow up Fire Phoenix when you attack to blow up a bigger monster. During the next standby phase after this Link Summon card is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon this card from your graveyard, so it's also a Fire King. Or an Nephthys.
Yeah.
It's a Phoenix, chat.
This, unfortunately, is probably my least favorite of the extra deck monsters for two main reasons.
I'm reading this card, so I read it. This card's perfectly functional. It's got fairly
very functional,
robust limits. The problem is that its toolbox effects are a little finicky. So its primary thing is, if you attack a defense position monster, you could make it so you still do effect damage, basically. If this card attacks, you can do 23, and then still, like, remove a monster. You can also have it attack, blow itself up, after attack deck to pop a monster your opponent controls, and then it comes back. That's all well and good. The problem is that the Link 3 slot is usually super aggressive. Like, Link 3 is a pretty pivotal number to climb into, and this guy alone does not make an end board?
No, and there are 3 very good Link 3s that I run in this deck. One of which is Default Talker Heat Souls, which covers the fire if you need it.
Yeah.
The biggest problem is that it's a Link monster, so there's no real benefit to running it. Like, there's an entire weird semi-archetype thing going on with Ai's stuff, where his stuff it name checks things based on the different types of Cybers monsters.
Yeah.
So, like, you're
already running Link, so
you want, if you're crazy like me, you want a ritual.
But it is a case where, like, you're already running Link, so you don't need to also
you
run a
already
Link.
run about 12 Link monsters in the deck.
So yeah, you don't need you don't need both a fire and a Link monster and a Cybers, and if you did, there are literal generic fire Cybers Links you can be running.
Because you're already running a Chi-Chi. I run Addition and Subtraction because they're free specials.
Yeah, they're pretty solid.
And they're also fire. Like, it's the problem is, like, in the context of the deck, it's just not giving you enough benefit.
Yeah, that's
plus
what I think I would say reading it. Yeah.
Primarily, and it doesn't, like, combo with it. Like, there's another card we'll talk about that people have been cutting, and I do not know why, because I fucking love the card. Because it does stuff when it's in your graveyard, which is where you want it anyway.
But first, Light Dragon at Ignister. I gotta say, this one probably, like, several of these guys look pretty, like, normal, I would say, in their roles. This is the one that probably looks the most like just a normal Yu-Gi-Oh! Dragon, other than having a little, like, Ignis seal on it. Yeah. And being, like, an Ixie, it could be, like, anybody. There's a lot of
This is kind of the villain's card.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very King Ghidorah with one head, to me.
So it says there could be some references to, like, certain effects of the Armatus Legios that aren't printed. It's similar to Borreload X Charge Dragon, which is a rank 4. This is rank 4, by the way. It does have 4 eyes, so it is a Cybers monster that's kind of like Cybers Quantum Dragon and Cybers Clock Dragon.
Yeah.
But yeah, pretty normal stuff.
Fun fact, the character that this is based on is one of the only Yu-Gi-Oh! Characters to never lose a duel.
Interesting.
They just kill him.
Get rid of him. Can't beat him.
Well, technically not, but it's a little more complicated than that, but he still never loses a duel.
So Light Dragon Ignister is a light Cybers Ixies, rank 4, 2300 attack, 1500 defense. Completely generic. Any 2 level 4 monsters counts. So, you know, this shows up in lots of brews of limited formats and shit like that. I'm literally, like I said before, I talked with Despair about the Firewall Dragons. I'm literally rebuilding my Dragon Not Dragon cube This will probably end up in it because it says dragon in its name, but it's a Cybers, and it's
It's really funny.
A decent generic rank 4.
This is one of those cards that is, especially now, way better in other decks than it is in Ignister.
Yeah.
Like, you do not play this in Ignister anymore because Alimbertion is just too good.
Yeah, you actually have other actionable targets, because this one is okay, but not crazy. If a monster you control be destroyed by a card effect, you can attach him to instead.
It shows up in fucking Ryzeal.
Yeah, because it's a rank 4.
I find hilarious.
It's a rank 4 that protects your guys. Like, you know, your opponent can't just pop detonator if you go, okay, detach light dragon, detach. You can each of the following effects once per turn. So, by the way, that first effect is not once per turn. So you can detach multiple times for multiple protections. You can detach one material from this card, destroy face-up monster opponent controls up to the number of Ignisters you control. Usually 1 in other decks, but in an Ignister deck could be a pretty big wipe. When another Cybers monster you control inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you can special summon a Link monster from your graveyard. So it also has kind of the effect that we've seen with several of the other guys, where there's definitely an element of, like, I want to say almost like Proto-Tenpai type stuff in Ignister, of, like, there's definitely a through line where the game goes, like, okay, maybe you didn't make a rival Cybers, but you made, like, a couple of end board guys on, like, turn 2 or 3. You just go battle phase and just, you start attacking and hope to summon extra guys and swing for game anyway, you know?
The biggest problem with this card is the second effect, or the first effect, the pop. There are a lot of ways to special summon Cybers monsters from your graveyard in this deck. They don't summon it with material, so you can't get the full advantage of it, unlike a certain other card that you can.
Yeah.
So it just ended up being a case where, like, Alimbertion is just a better Xyz target, because, like, you can potentially get a 3-mat Alimbertion and search anything in your deck. Or
I also think it's
similar
to
like a subtraction or addition.
It's probably similar to whatchamacallit, Fire Phoenix, in that Light Dragon is a light, so you're already playing 3 Picati. There are probably other light type monsters you're including in your extra deck. Like, you don't need this guy just for the attribute sort of a thing.
Generally, it's mostly just because of Picati. Because if you don't get to a Picati, you've kind of, like...
At some point you want, because...
I don't know how.
Hello.
You've Omega Bricked somehow.
One of my players,
like...
Hi, I'm back.
Yeah.
Picati is,
I see that Dallas immediately came back as soon as I left.
That was not
immediately.
I just got home. I think it was a bit after you left.
I was gone for a little bit. Yeah. But we're cycling. It's okay. We're in it. The Watered one. Water Leviathan Ignister. So this is a ritual.
What did I miss?
We rounded out the rest of the main deck, and now we're talking about the
not
exclusively extra deck.
We didn't
the special types.
We didn't finish the main deck.
Well, we talked about the initial wave. There are, like I said, there's a
a
couple more they tacked on
that's
later,
important.
but the original core, like one of every attribute in the main, plus a couple of extra Earth guys for some reason that we're still not sure of. Now we're talking about the alternate monster types. Yeah, they added some stuff there. Water Leviathan, though. It's a water Leviathan. It's a water Cybers ritual.
Yeah. And technically, this is also a main deck card.
True, but it is a special card type. 2,300 attack, 2,000 defense, level 7. That's kind of our axis is 4s or 7s. Is the big element here. You can ritual summon this card with Eyes Ritual, so we will pull that one up as well.
Yes.
If this card is ritual summoned, return all monsters your opponent controls with 2,300 attack or less. Now, the card art's very funny, but the name is not a good pun. Let's pull these up on screen together. But yeah, so you, if this card is ritual summoned, you can return all monsters your opponent controls with 2,300 or less attack to the hand. Could be a big bounce, could not be. You can target a face-up monster your opponent controls, return all link monsters from your graveyard to the extra deck. If you do, change that targeted monster attack to 0. You can use this effect once per turn. Once per turn.
You can do some weird stuff with this.
Once per battle, during damage calc, if this battle's opponent's monster, you can have their attack during damage calc only. So this one has a lot of really interesting powers related to attack modulation, which is one of those things we've talked about before, where usually battle tricks and attack modulation is seen as bad, but it can be good still.
So I would say the main use of this card, to me at least, is the return all link monsters from your grave to your deck.
Yeah, that's an effect that, like, I mean, you do still need an opponent's monster to target.
If you do it at the right part in the... Yeah, if you do it at the right point in the combo, because there are cards that are once per turns in your deck. But there are also other cards that are not once per turns.
Or are soft.
Although your main non-one... Your main soft once per turn card also just recently got banned in the TCG, which sucks, but
it is what it is. But yeah,
it was gonna go eventually.
Water Leviathan has that moment where, like, it does need your opponent to control a monster you can target to make work, but still, the fact that, like, that second effect is definitely mostly the ability to reset your extra deck by throwing a bunch of links back in it.
I'm not as fond of this one as I am the Golem, mostly because, like, it's a very niche effect. Like, this will pay off for you, like, 1 out of every 25 games. But it's good to have because it makes your Dark Fluid and Singularity better.
Yeah.
So, that's why you play it. And your allied code talker thingy.
Yes. And Eye's Ritual is pretty simple. You can use it to ritual summon any Cyberse Ritual monster, so you could also play other... There are a few Cyberse Rituals, so you could play any of them that meet your needs, but Water Leviathan is a ritual and a water, so that helps. Eye's Ritual is searchable with Hiyari. You must also tribute Ad Ignisters from your hand or field whose total levels equal or exceed. If you control an Ad Ignister when this effect is activated, you can also use Ad Ignisters in your graveyard by banishing them. So, all around, again, similar to how I Love Fusion works, Eye's Ritual is just a good example of a modern ritual card.
Yeah. Like I said, this is not a mandatory card. This is the card I put in my decks personally, because I don't run as many hand traps as most people do. So, I'm probably cutting hand traps for this one. Most likely I'm cutting, probably, like, there's a lot of slots, so probably cutting because I run 3 Ash in this deck, because you have to, because it's a fire. I do not run Maxi in this deck, personally, but I run 2 Call by, probably 2 Veiler, honestly.
Honestly, these days, I feel like, especially with the implementation of the Mulch Armies in Master Duel, you feel like you want to play 2 Max C, but you don't always want to play him just because it doesn't always matter. There's multiple ways to get what you want done.
If I were to play Max C in this deck, it is only because I am running Crosshat Designator.
Yeah, it's a great
because Max C does, in fact, win against this deck. I usually do play a Crosshat Designator suite, but... Konami are stupid and have that card limit 1.
Well, it is like it's a similar issue to what's up with we talked about this with Called By, but like Crossy's a really interesting card that when it was used for like generic suites is cool. The problem is that Crossout at 3, the TCG realized this eventually. It turns anything where you've got a case where there's a decent amount of mirror matches possible really annoying. Master Duel, probably you could be looser about it because I think the meta can be more flexible, but it is also best of 1, so like it can be very.
I would also endeavor people to get over it. Yes, it makes mirrors a little more irritating, but Sorry, that is my hill I'm willing to die on. Is like, Crosshat Designator should be at 3.
I think the primary thing is why people are more against it is Crossy is technically a going first card. And so things that make going first easier are not necessarily super needed.
By, technically.
Well, yeah. Call by at least lasts until the second turn. Like, Crossy is just you fire and forget. But if you have one you haven't used and set it, you can stop your opponent's combo. And I will say, Dallas, I believe some of the stats from these are not, like, approved. Nobody's double-checked the numbers, but people were crunching it. I believe the win rate at YCS Anaheim that just happened is if you are going first, so long as your opponent doesn't open Fuelos, you have, like, an 80 or 90% chance to win. So we don't really need to be making going first better.
I guess.
I could see Crossout coming back in a later meta, but like I think we would have to shift some of the other cards like down the power level to cycle it back in, just because going first is already like really strong anyway. Unfortunately.
But now let's talk about the boy.
Yeah, so I've pulled up Wind
My
Pegasus.
favorite of the extra decks.
Yeah, I believe it is pretty popular. I'm going to step away real quick and refill my water bottle, but I'll be right back. I'll leave you guys on to talk more about Wind Pegasus.
Oh, okay.
Or not, whatever.
So, have you ever played this deck, Axe?
Not really. I was just curious your history of it. Like, how many iterations have you done of this deck?
A lot. Granted, it's all around the. Well, so this deck is very. This deck is well because I like decks that have long combo strings, and that's what this deck is. It's a long combo string deck.
Why you like DDD is because it just like
yes,
because there's literally
a long combo string.
It is a spreadsheet deck.
Not necessarily just because it's a spreadsheet deck, but I like decks that are flexible.
How do you feel about like the 8 new DDD cards that got released?
They're really strong. Like
how do you feel about like the card suit family, and also Ragnarok?
I mean, Ragnarok is dope, but I mean, DDD is going to be a very good deck, I think.
Usually it is.
Because it still was Rogue, and I think it could possibly be because what the is the card? Not that. Sorry.
Here's a weird question, but how much do you pen summon in DDD? Is it like once or twice in the whole combo ever?
So if you're talking about Genesis, DDD is completely unviable in Genesis. It's not because of actual pen summoning. The pen summoning doesn't really matter that much. But you have to activate the pendulum abilities of cards.
Fair. Yeah.
So in Genesis, DDD is bad. Which is why Genesis format is not as good as it could be.
Like, here's the weird thing, but like, could we just like, in DDD, could you just play without pen summon, but if you had the pendulum card effects?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, probably. They don't pen summon that much.
You pen summon like once, like it's good. You pen summon like once, but like.
Well, also I want to bring this up explicitly, because I got back just as Axe said this. When we play Yu-Gi-Oh, you pendulum summon usually just the once. It's a very, very rare deck that can actually exceed the pendulum and do a second pendulum summon. That's a very, very rare specific
like
type of focus.
Magician decks,
yeah.
Mostly.
Most decks pen summon just the once to get all their cards on board, and because it's Yu-Gi-Oh, you don't actually go to the third or fourth turn all the time where you pen summon again.
Specifically, when you pen summon, there are times where I will leave cards in my hand when I could pen summon them because you want to use them in a different way. But so you could probably get away with not being able to pen summon and just using pendulum cards, but not being able to use pendulum effects does kill the modern version of the deck.
Explicitly in Genesis, there are no Link monsters, there are no pendulum monsters. Yeah. They're all put.
Yeah, which is dumb, but I digress.
Weirdly enough, it means I could still play Kashtira. What if I could play
no, you can't.
Yes.
No.
You can't. You also can't play Kashtira because every single Kashtira card is like 50 points minimum.
Fuck yeah.
Because
Kashtira 4 was cool, man.
I think Genesis is a good. Kashtira was never cool.
I thought it was cool because I wanted to play fucking Xyz. I wanted to play Diabolista Mind Hacker as like just a fucking like as like an actual like fucking Xyz like 7 like a rank 7.
I mean, you could have played that before Kashtira. I made Diabolistus and Red Eyes also million years ago. It just turns out that an extra deck ripping deck is that's all about that is annoying.
I think Genesis is a good idea that needs a couple once-overs in terms of rule set.
I feel like they need to make Genesis exclusive cards.
I don't think the Genesis Invitational kind of
Okay.
validates that opinion if you see the deck list.
What would you see about the deck list?
It's Vanquish Soul was the top deck by a lot.
Even the band.
Yeah. Radiant Typhoon,
yeah. One of the tops was Radiant Typhoon Runic. That's the other thing I think that just like, I mean, yeah, Dallas, why are you sound so sad about that? Exorcisters is a deck that's fucking useless. It's been terrible for like 4 years.
I wonder if Ars Magia is gonna be Art Magia is
I
gonna
would
be
say it's been
anything.
useless. It's been like meh.
I
would put Exorcist on the same level as DDD right now, before the new cards.
The point of Genesis is to make different decks good. So like that should be a plus that Exorcister is coming back. That's a deck that was like people thought was elite,
that's fair.
but was good for like 6 months tops maybe before being outpaced by the meta.
I just think they all of the decks have a very similar play pattern to me.
Fair.
Like they're mostly Xyz decks. I think the only one that isn't is
no, Radiant Typhoon isn't. I mean,
yeah, Radiant Typhoon.
I will say that with all links banned, Xyz is the easiest generically accessible extra deck type, so it's gonna be like that's what you're gonna do if you're not making fusions.
I'm just sad that literally only one synchro archetype even made an appearance, and no fusions. Oh no, one fusion did, which was Art Mage.
Art Magia,
yeah. And the only
Art Mage in the TCG.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
I think there is some stuff, and we'll see how. Like they said, they plan to do lists every 4 to 6 weeks, maybe sooner. So we'll see. Like after a couple of results are actually posted, this was like the first big side event to check out. I do want to say that I think because people talked about this, I think that they did kind of undervalue Runic, which is why it showed up in like Runic Radiant Typhoon, because you can't access the EMZ. So I'm sure that Konami thought that like, oh well, you can't like actually use the fusions in Runic because you can't. There's no EMZ for you to put them in. So these decks are not. This deck is not good. No. Runic independently is full of really annoying, powerful small cards. And then if you combine that with an engine that's about quick play summoning, yeah, it will be good.
Well, if you're going to talk about annoying decks, the deck that I saw that makes me like, oh boy, is the Odeon, the trap deck.
Yeah, the Man the Mark.
Yeah, man with a mark is that's another one that was like almost TCG viable, like squeaked into a couple of tops, but never like made a huge splash. That just is not very well molested in Genesis, so it's kind of shining. It's a weird case where like that is obviously intentional, but it is going to just have to see how long they go to actually adjust the points in the format.
It's a very annoying deck to be good. You know what I mean?
I get you.
I mean, yeah, like I think.
Axe, I know you like the deck, but it is very much like. It is very much like Kashtira.
I never actually played proper Kashtira. So like I liked playing what I had.
That doesn't make it not annoying.
I level Kashtira, so like I never actually got to do the annoying grindy shit.
It's still an annoying grindy deck.
I mean, I think we've seen from like the ongoing that like even conceptually, if they were neat, they were all like people talking about like playing through Fenrir and Unicorn, and even in Ogre in like low like all those cards are just really fucking annoying. It's just like, oh, you did something.
The top deck.
Let me look at your top 5 cards. What's your best top 5 cards? Get them out of here. What's your extra deck? Get that guy out of there.
The fact that the top deck was Vanquish Soul is just annoying.
But I think it's because I think it's just I'm an annoying. I think I'm a spiteful person at heart, even though I'm not. I have spite but no malice in my heart. If that makes any sense.
Like honestly, like because I've played a few of them. I think like honestly, out of them, even though I feel like he's the one who's the most limited, Fenrir himself is probably like the least annoying of the guys. The problem is that he searches the other guys, so like, Ogre in like, especially in limited context, because first of all, he's got a very fat ass, but also Ogre, remember, is look at the top five cards of your opponent's deck and then yeet us one. That can also be like,
it can
very
be,
annoying.
but I think it's less annoying than the other two.
Fenrir is a weird one to play around.
Like Unicorn, we can all agree Unicorn is the worst, right?
Yes, Unicorn sucks ass. Getting to pick up your opponent's entire extra deck and then rip one is really annoying.
No, Unicorn
and I know that
I
some
hate that
people
card.
were like, "Oh, well, you should just build more robust. Unicorn's not really a problem. You should just build a more robust extra deck." And it's like, I've got 15 slots, motherfucker. It's really annoying.
No, if you want to change the game so you can have if you want to change the game so we can have infinite extra deck slots, then sure.
Actually, no. I say
nobody wants that.
we do 20 slots instead.
Ooh, that would make this game so rough.
I mean, it depends on the deck, but I mean,
Anyway,
Win
Pegasus is a Win Cyber Synchro level 7. I remember I said 7s are a big thing. It's got 2300 attack because 23s are a big thing. It's completely generic. You can play this card in any deck that makes 7s. I am pretty sure this did show up in some brews of like postmodern Speedroid as like a different 7 you can make.
It's shown up in a lot of decks. It's been played in Voiceless Voice. It's been played in
7s is like other than 8s, probably the most common synchro number you can make. So yeah.
This is such a weird. It's such a weird, I guess, take of it. But it's like, Dallas decks would get so much better if we had 20 slots because DDD
yes,
and probably have
do very much agree.
Having at least one extra copy of one card just in case, or having
you don't understand me then, because I would not put one extra copy of cards. I would put 5 different cards.
I mean, fair, but like in DDD, that's actually not a bad thing.
No, at Ignister either. You literally only play 2 of one card. The rest of your extra deck is all 1-offs. But yeah, no, I love Win Pegasus. It's probably the card I've played in most other decks.
It's just a good generic 7.
So, well, like, part of that is also because, like, Ignister was one of the first decks I built in Master Duel, so I had this thing laying around, so
really
I can
SR,
just put it in a bunch of decks. It's just like
this card's really good,
and
I want to say is arguably like has more long-term use than Light Dragon, because it's basically got its first effect is that it has Light Dragon's effect, but for spell traps. Destroy spell traps your opponent controls up to Ignister monsters. But it's just during your main phase you can do this, whereas Light Dragon is detach 1.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't the main game plan for Ignister anyway, meaning that you're going to fill up your board of 6 cards and then turn it into the big 6 anyway?
That is one of the plan. Like, so there are basically 3 main plans.
But you can also
there are more things you can do now. Like, spoiler, Arrival at Ignister is not played that much anymore. It's been replaced by a couple other cards, but the cards that work with it also work with Win Pegasus. Like, people have started cutting Win Pegasus for Firewall Saber Dragon.
That is a pretty good card that was printed just this year, but I don't know.
I like this card more because I don't trust Yu-Gi-Oh players, so I know they're going to have annoying back row.
Well, yeah, that's another one. It's so funny, Dallas, to hear you say that, but that's like so true because we learned that long lesson in our time in Prague of just like
in Prague.
Annoying extra.
I will fully admit this on video. I came into Yu-Gi-Oh naive. I was like, yeah, they're really annoying back row cards, but those cards aren't going to be a problem because no one will play them because they're just annoying, dumb cards. Man, I'm overestimated Yu-Gi-Oh players.
You tried to ban Beverexter twice.
Well, and it's also just, I mean, it became a heel bit is also true. But the other thing is just like the problem especially was that like a lot of those annoying back row cards were also like low rarity.
I never intended to ban Mystic Space Typhoon the times I suggested it.
Okay, so
no, but
I want. I'm trying to remember.
Okay. If you got it.
Sorry.
Okay, so I was going to say that the other thing I think we learned from doing Prague is that especially in that particular type of format, there's a lot of really annoying back row cards at low rarities. Like, it was very easy for us to assemble play sets of shit like Trap Holes and Sakuretsus and shit. Like, it just...
Those aren't even the cards I'm talking about. I'm talking about shit like, remember Chain Energy?
Ugh. Yes.
I remember being
Fairy Box.
I remember the only time people actually cheered for me. The only time was I was sick and I beat a Mega doing the chain burn attack with a 500 health life left.
Remember Toll? Like, those are the cards
Yeah. There was a lot of stuff. Those cards were also all low rarity. I think I built that deck because I literally didn't have anything better, and I was like, we are absolutely gonna ban these fucking cards this week. Let's just go.
Yeah.
Okay, that was the thing earlier you said of being like everyone's not going like, listen. The only time people aren't going to play back row is if you are a person that played professional Yu-Gi-Oh! During Orcus format.
Look, no.
If you gauge, you forget to actually fucking play back row ever.
I'm not talking about just back row, because I love back row. I'm talking about annoying cards that do not win you the game, do not progress the game. They just make the game more annoying. That is what I've overestimated Yu-Gi-Oh! Players for. Yes.
Lost Darling.
And like, honestly, Loth shouldn't have played Stumbling. I think we saw from the double Stumbling game, because I think that did end up being Dallas versus Loth, was the great Stumblinging. That didn't actually advance the game state at all. It was like, I'm stalling for my perfect draw. You guys, I don't think either of you had shit that week. There was nothing. There was no perfect draw.
Archfiends, oh my god, what did you want me to do?
I know, though, but that's the thing. Like, we were just playing Stumbling for the sake of like, stalling for time.
Yes. No.
We stalled for content. It didn't matter.
Like, to me, in a Prague format, those cards have a place.
It's called
in the actual normal stalling for time has a place. No, genuinely, I think stalling for time has a place.
And that's probably fair. We're playing limited, so like spreading.
What
out
I'm talking about is the
can do
main context of Yu-Gi-Oh! People still play bullshit like that. That's what I'm talking about. Like your Mystic Minds, your fucking.
Well, and to be fair, I think every Mystic Mind was not good, but
yeah. I should admit, this is like one of the only rare acts. It's the rare times acts ever gonna fucking be here. I'm saying first because I have to. It's the only time I'm actually gonna fucking be here on a Tuesday, like past the first hour. So I'm just gonna say this. My memories of Prague were like a few things. Like one, me being sick in a basement, winning with fucking Black Meteor Dragon against Omega with like no deck cards in my deck and like 1,000 life points to my name. Two, me fucking stumbling the fucking. It was like the fucking Lightsworn fucking draw at high noon.
You didn't stumble. I drew Exodia and murdered you.
You shot me. Okay, listen. I drew my gun, but you shot me 3 times already, like fucking Thunderer.
No.
Yeah, it was
you
crazy.
pulled up with a pistol. I pulled up with an anti-tank rifle. It killed you in 1 turn.
It was crazy high stakes stuff.
That was one of them. Basically, where it's like, fuck, I didn't put. Fuck, I only have 6 bullets in this gun. He has fucking 12. But like, the other one was also Omega winning. Basically, the series ending because we just scheduling happened. But Omega winning with I'm blanking on their names.
Trickstar.
Yeah, you won a Trickstar, and it basically ended because Omega finally won one for a file.
My clearest memory of Prague, and I don't know if I could call it. I don't want to call it trauma because that's a bit dramatic, but. Is Despair killing me with Mystic Shine Ball Turbo.
Right.
Such a great week.
Also, Despair forever just never communicating. They just were fucked over by the deck roller.
I think Vesper just like didn't think about it. They were just like, clearly the rest of the guys must have whiffed, and then was like, oh, you didn't? Shit. We found out later.
I have literally spares.
Our communication was not always great.
8 ghost rares of useless cards. Like, I think I legitimately got 5 Rainbow Neoses.
That card is kind of useless, yeah.
Win Pegasus in a Prague form.
Yeah,
yes.
so Win Pegasus also has a graveyard effect. We didn't talk about it yet. If another card you control is destroyed by battle or opponent's card effect while this card's on the field or in the graveyard, you can banish it, target a card your opponent controls, shuffle that shit back. These effects are both once per turn.
Yeah. They're very good. The Ignister now especially has a lot of ways to get your stuff from the graveyard onto the battlefield. So you can essentially Feather Duster with this card.
Yeah.
I have done it multiple times of just like activate it, trap card we'll talk about later, and then I get to pop for 5. But yeah. No, Wind Pegasus is good.
Yeah.
Next, I believe, is the first big boy.
Yes. The Arrival. Cyburst at Ignister. This is my first time seeing this guy in big. This was, I believe, our first...
Attention, world. Make ready for my arrival.
I'm pretty sure this was our first... yeah, this is the first Link 6 monster.
Mm-hmm.
And the second one ever is Firewall Dragon Singularity, so...
literally, the antithesis card to it, like the opposing card to this, yeah.
Yeah, and I mentioned before, I made a joke about Earth Golem looked like a rock Gundam. This also kind of looks like the final enemy mech from a mecha show. Like, he's just covered in like weird halos for no reason.
I will disagree with you because
actually, I think it is from.
Axe might have the same idea.
What was the fuck? I'm blanking on the name of the Kojima mecha thing.
Okay, like, never mind. Zone of the Enders is what you're thinking, but that's not what I'm...
Basically, Ender's mech.
No, this is the final boss of a Kamen Rider show. This is the villain's final form.
This is okay.
Yes, this is a villain's final form.
Yes, but no, because technically this is what the concept art would look like, but not what the suit would look like.
You're very fair. This is the concept art of the villain's final form.
I mean, this could be an orbital frame from ZOE, but those were a little different in that the actual ones were.
It has too thick legs. The legs are way too thick.
Yeah, those guys were kind of.
Its knees are literally sheet metal.
That is true.
For some of the Enders, people were stick figures, but.
It's made of rings. It's just it's made of like it's mostly rings.
The main ones were stick figures. That's the other thing that was funny. The original Zone of the Enders, like all the bosses except the first one, Neath, and the last one, Anubis, were all giant fucking mechs.
So this is the card that sold me on the archetype.
Yeah, so this is the card that makes the archetype
the original
big
archetype work.
Yeah.
This is the original boss monster for this archetype. So because
Dark Cyber's Link 6, its arrows point every direction except the 2 front corners. So it's got both sides, all the back, and then one directly in front. Nominally, its attack is 0. But we'll explain how that comes out later. Its materials are just 3+ monsters with different attributes. So, hypothetically, you can make this with as few as, like, a Link 3, and then a couple of other Links. Or you could use all 6 zones.
Yeah.
You can only control one Arrival Cyberst at Ignister. The original attack of this card becomes 1,000 times the number of materials used for its Link summon. So you want to use more materials because you can make it as big as 6K. 4 or 5K is usually what I see this guy summoned at. Maybe very rarely you go for the 3K. Unaffected by other cards' effects, straight up.
Yeah, it's 5 or 6. I have never summoned this for 4. If I am only getting 4, I'm not playing the deck right.
It is a proper towers. It's completely unaffected by other cards' effects. Once per turn, you can target one other monster on the field, destroy it. If you do, special summon an @Ignister token to a zone this card points to. To your zone this card points to, so not to an opponent's zone.
Generally, this was, I should say. It is no longer. We'll talk about the reason later. This was the going first boss monster. Yeah. Because I'm of the belief that Cyber Dragon Dark Fluid is better for going second because you can just attack your opponent for like 13,000 damage and they die.
Yeah, that guy's got a really good. That one's really rewarding to playing this type of deck to make a guy who attacks a lot. But Arrival Cyberst is, if you make a 5-mat or 6-mat, it's a huge-ass towers.
Yeah, they need to attack over it with something 5K or 6K. Yes, no, this is one of the few cards that got buffed by being a real card. Because they probably realized how much of a bitch it is to summon, so they wanted to make it, like...
accessible.
Better.
Yeah.
but the thing about this card is basically in the original incarnations of Ignister, and I think you could still do this. It's still hard to get around. You make this card and look at your opponent and go, can you make a monster with over 6,000 attack, or 5,000 if you're not able to pull off the 6? And if they can't, you win. If they can, you lose.
Right, it's because
it's not easy to do most of the time. Like
it only can be beat in combat, right? It's been otherwise.
It's unaffected by card effects, so you cannot destroy it, spin it back, negate. Like it is unaffected.
It is very specifically pure combat. It cannot. There's no like you can't do stuff where you modulate combat.
Nowadays?
It doesn't matter. It's unaffected by card effects. It's unaffected.
Yeah,
it is a triple towers.
You can still. I mean, you can still. Unaffected? No, it's find a kaiju or beat over it. Yeah, you can.
Yeah, you can kaiju it, but that's literally it.
Yeah, it's because the kaiju is not an activated effect, but it still means kaijus are bust, which is like a very awkward position to be in.
Like there are obviously some archetypes this does not that Ignister loses to a lot. I mean, Tenpai comes to mind.
Yeah, Tenpai can't get big enough, yeah.
It's like, well, no, you have to beat over it, I believe. Right? No, yeah, you can crash.
Well, you can crash, but also no. In Tenpai, just the way it is you summon your little guys and crash, and then you're like, I have declared 3 attacks this turn. I will now assemble my Omega Big Mahjong hand. He was a giant dragon. He has 12,000 attack, and I'm attacking 3 times. You're dead. And you're just like, interesting.
It might be a little hard for
you.
They might be have to be a little more conservative because you do still have to crash into something with 6,000 attack potentially.
If you're playing Tenpai correctly, that doesn't matter because each of the small dragons is like, your fire dragons don't give battle damage, your fire dragons aren't destroyed, etc. So like, if you set up the board correctly, the thing about the ban list is that like almost all of the Tenpai cards that are really good are limit 1. So actually setting up a proper Tenpai board is still super rare.
Another one that I would lose to if people played it, although it's not a very good or popular deck, is not Crystron, the other one. The Link big attack monsters. Why can't I think of the name?
I don't know how it's related to Crystron.
It's with Leo and stuff because it sounds like it. I think.
Crystal Beast?
No, hold on. Am I just fucking high? Hold on, I need to...
What else do they do?
My brain, they just make big attack people and kill you. And literally, there are Link archetypes that does that. They were an early Link archetype. Crusadia! I knew it started with C.
You're right, because Avermax does beat you.
Well, no, not Avermax, just Equimax, yeah.
Yeah, you make Equimax.
A big attack.
It's like, yes, like, you have 6,000 attack. Now me have 6,000 attack.
But those are not generally like popular. Like for example, if you make a big arrival Cyberse Ignister, I don't think Ryziel can do anything to it.
Yeah, no. If you the main problem would be, and this is what you said going first, obviously. The main problem would be if you were going second, is that Detonator would just kill your combo. He would just eat all your little guys all the time.
Going second, you have to do a bit of stuff, but
if you go first, you make an at arrival Cyberse. It's just like, hey, Ryziel, what are you doing? And it's like,
let's see here. All right, let's see here.
You make it 6-man. You can't even lightning it.
Can K9? Okay, let's see. K9, Malice, Ryziel. Could that?
No, none of those make big guns. I mean, hypothetically, there is a line in Malice.
Malice could make a rival Cyberse at Ignister and crash.
If they were, if it was just the 5K, not the 6K, technically, if you banish all 3 traps, your Link monster's attacks are like doubled and stuff, so they can get to like 5,200 or something.
The 5-1 is a lot easier to out than the 6K. The 6K is pretty much only like Tenpai or other huge attack decks.
Hypothetically, I think there's one of the builds of Mathmech where you like actually give Final Sigma like 8K attack or something.
Well, no, Final Sigma doesn't work because Final Sigma needs to target your opponent's monster.
Then would it be does it viable in this modern climate, or it is too interruptible?
No,
okay, so the problem is the problem is they have an easier and technically better thing you can make on turn 1 now. That's the biggest issue.
I would also say, like, you probably would still run it. The
tools.
problem is that, like, yes, you're frangible to hand traps. I am pretty sure Droll kills this deck. If you add once and then you can't add anymore, you're probably boned. And Droll's very popular.
Kills, Maxi and Fulos, obviously.
Yeah, Fulos is just like give your opponent too many cards.
If you ash at the right time, it kills, but opponents are really bad at knowing when to ash this deck. Because it has like this deck has like 18 ashable cards, and only like 3 of them are really detrimental if they're ashed. So
yeah, so it's one of those that's tough. The main thing is just that, like, in TCG, obviously, it's still best of 3, so you'd have to go through sideboarding and your opponent picking to, like, make this big bungus twice, and assuming that your opponent just doesn't sideboard into Kaijus. I still think, like, a decent number of side decks just pack 3 Gamma Seal just in case, you know?
Like, or 3 and whatever Kaiju of choice.
The main thing is that while Rival Cyberse is very big, if you just thug it out and stall, if you get to a Kaiju, you eventually win. In Master Duel, it's probably, like, still decent as a rogue deck. The main thing is just that, like, you can build more funny reactive
like I said,
decks.
There is literally a better turn 1 option for the deck now.
Yeah.
So the deck is still very good. Ignister has gotten Master Duel tops recently.
Are we gonna get to the better version? Also, can Ignister do the Maxi challenge?
No.
I don't think you can actually have your opponent draw out with it.
I don't think so.
If you build your extra deck correctly and you're running Water Leviathan, technically you can.
Okay, yeah. Well, if you have the Water Leviathan great variant, because that lets you reset. But I think there is a cap normally. There's a number of hard ones per turn, so there is a.
Yeah.
Ignister is not technically a deck that can infinitely special summon. It just specifically special summons enough times like to make
12
a Rival Cyberse. But if you reset,
if you build your deck properly, I think you can do the Maxi challenge.
Yeah, if you build it to reset,
it's something like 6 Samurai.
Yeah, no, but it's not a deck that I should say is normally designed to go just infinite loops. It's a deck that has an end goal in mind.
But it special summons a lot and recurs from the grave a lot. So I think you can technically do the Maxi challenge probably.
The main thing is just that the main thing with actually completing the Maxi challenge these days is that most people playing like Master Duel own good cards to draw into Maxi. So like the odds that they find like a Dominus Impulse or something or a Droll or whatever that stops you.
Yeah, no, if they draw a Droll, you lose.
You know. Anyway, let's talk about the first wave of
kill the deck.
eye spells. Yeah, Droll's an annoying little fucker.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that, speaking of Genesis earlier, I think his Genesis point cost is going up because they dropped him down to like 5, and then he's just like everywhere in Genesis, and it's like, okay, maybe he's a little too cheap. It should not be that like our default, oh, well, the only hand trap I can afford is Droll and Lockbird. Like that sounds like we're just getting a lot of unfair games.
We talked about the first alphabetical card. So I believe the next one is a trap card, technically.
Well, I have first is AI Contact. Eye Contact.
Oh, Eye Contact, right. Yeah.
Yeah, because we already talked about Love Fusion, so.
Yeah, Love Fusion is technically. Yeah.
So, you know, we're not too Shadow yet, and there's a few others. There's a few others. That
also, Dallas, what is the other first turn like big like?
We'll get to it. It's the new boss monster.
Oh, okay.
It's the gay love child. No, not Singularity.
Okay.
No, it's Allied Code Talker.
Singularity is a turn 2 option.
Yeah, Dark Fluid and Singularity are the hello, I'm killing you now.
That's a nice word you got there. Shame if it were to go away. Or in Dark Fluid's case, I'm gonna hit you really hard.
Dark Fluid is such a cool guy. Mr. Contact, though, Eye Contact. AI contact.
Oh.
Is a normal spell that says if Ignister Island is in your field zone, reveal Ignister Island in your hand, put it on the bottom of your deck, draw 3. You only activate 1 per turn. This card's incredibly funny because I believe Island has a couple of hard once per turns in here. So this is just super pot of greed. If it's like Graceful Charity, if you have an extra Island. I can't imagine this is commonly played, but it's very funny.
I run one of it personally because you can search it and the spell. I used to, rather. It's gotten replaced by some new spell and trap support that I like more, but it was good. It just has been power crap. Not power crap, but like...
You have a lot of choices in this deck.
Look, I run... Normal builds of Ignister run a little bit too many hand traps for my taste.
Okay, so Dallas, it's better to say it's like it wasn't easy to replace. It was the easiest. It was the first thing. It was the easiest thing to cut when you had to make a cut.
Yes, there are some spell traps that I refuse to cut. This is not one of those.
No, this one's not. This is Eye Shadow. This is a continuous trap that says activate this card by targeting an Ignister. It gains 800 attack. Also, all monsters your opponent controls must attack it if able. If this face-up card in its owner's spell trap zone has left the field because of an opponent's effect and is now in the graveyard or banished, draw a card. You can only use this effect once per turn. This is cute, but this is obviously like an anime-ass type effect of just like, oh, look at me. The primary thing...
Love the art.
I love it. I feel like at least like 4 of these cards are just fucking bogging the camera.
The pun is good.
Yes.
The main problem is with this card is that so for your little tiny baby guys, 800 attack isn't enough to matter. They're all like level 1s. And then for your biggest guy, Arrival Cybers is unaffected, so he can't gain 800 attack to do this. So the ability where like you force your opponent's monsters to attack Arrival Cybers, if able, would be really good. That would be a great card. But because it's unaffected and has to be targeted, you can't do it.
Honestly, if they wanted to make it more of like an anime-esque card, they should make it like this card. Is they do the Yu-Gi-Oh text thing of this card affects this archetype about like no matter what the effect is.
I mean, they could have done that,
actually.
but I mean, then they would just say instead of targeting, it would just be like add Ignister monsters you control gain 800 attack, and your opponent must attack them if able. But then they would get to pick. So like, there's room for that to be not as strong, but it's definitely like it's a cute effect, and like attack modulation 800 is nothing to sneeze at. The main problem is just that you already have a big Bungulis who can't benefit from it. So it's like, again, you cut them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like this is
also Chap spelled this out that you can technically Malice can get to like 8k if they need to, but that would require you to actually run all 3 names of the traps, which is like super rare. Because you have to name them, banish them, have the field spell up, and then also have what's her face, Red Queen, come back so her attack is doubled, and then you also get 3k.
Regardless.
Next, Idol Reborn.
I think we're missing a card. Wait. Sorry, there's so many cards.
Yeah.
Idol Reborn.
In the first wave, we got Idol Reborn. Which one?
This wasn't in the first wave? I'm very surprised.
Which one are you thinking of? Yeah, no, I meet you with second wave.
Oh,
it's a little later.
I always forget there was a second wave.
Yeah, they've had a few. So, Idol Reborn is a quick play spell card. It just shows, Eye's hand coming up. Target an Ignister in your graveyard, special summon it. You can't special summon monsters for this turn next resolve except Cybers. When an attack is declared involving 2 monsters, banish this card from your graveyard and 1 card from your hand. Target one of your Eye spell traps, banish from your graveyard except Reborn, add it back to your hand. You can use each effect once per turn. The banish effect is kind of like annoyingly slow and costly.
But it's a Reborn.
But the main thing is this is a quick play. Yeah, this is a quick play Reborn that resets your guys. There are several like things we've talked about where you can kind of like baby swarm on your opponent's turn or even on your turn for a victory. So it's just good to have a quick play monster Reborn. And, oh no, your Cyber's locked. How terrible.
Yeah, I have That is actually a reason I don't generally run as many hand traps as some people do in this deck, is because you do get Cyber's Monster locked a lot.
I mean, also just like, I feel like just like, I've talked about this before, my own personal problems with hand traps. I also just feel like in a deck where you're doing so much where you want as many like Ignister names and like valid special summons as possible to set up your combo, it's just like I would hate to draw that hand and just be like, yes, 2 Imperm, 3 Ash Blossom, yes, very cool Ignister deck me. I just like, you got to watch those ratios. Like we should chat. Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck design should move away. You should play the minimum a number of hand traps allowable, actually. We should go back to the days where, like, the hand traps are not you start with 15 of them and then make some room. You should start with maybe, like, 5, and then if your deck truly can get everything it needs done and you're not going to be bricking on them constantly, add some more back in for spice. You know, hit the side deck if you need to.
My general hand trap suite, I can tell you already in this deck, is 2 Ash Blossom, 2 Called By, 2 Imperm, 1 Cross Out, 1 Droll, 1 Nib. And that's because this deck dies to Droll and Nib.
You play the cross out targets. No, pretty solid lineup. That's very fairly minimal while still occasionally coming up. Anyway, this is IQ.
Thing of Fulos for it.
IQ is another continuous trap that says activate only if you control an Ignister once per turn during your standby phase. Tribute a link monster, destroy this card. Each player can only link summon once per turn while this card is face up on the field. It's a weird floodgate that's anti your own deck. Don't
this
bother.
card is poo-poo bad. Like,
I get what they're going for. Don't do it.
I know what it's meant to do. It's meant to, you link the Arrival Cyberse, then you flip this card so your opponent can't link summon, but most of the decks that can beat Arrival Cyberse aren't link decks.
No.
So I guess this is just the side deck tech for the Crusadia matchup.
Yeah. So then next we have Tie Strike. I'm referencing tie or draw. So this is a quick play spell card. It says, during damage calc, if your monster battles opponent's monster, your battling monster attack becomes the opponent's monster attack during this damage calc only. Also, the controller of any monster destroyed by battle takes damage equal to its original attack at the end of the damage step. If your Ignister monster will be destroyed by battle, you can banish the card from your graveyard instead. You can only activate 1 tie strike per turn. This is another thing we talked about with like the thing you can do with Gusati.
With a Rival Cyberse adding, with a Rival Cyberse Ignister, I actually think this card was good. Because it, like, basically fucks Tempai. That's essentially what this card is. Like, it's like, oh, you found a way to out this by attacking? No, you didn't.
Yeah. You got to be careful because you're going to take, because Rival Cyberse does change his original attack, so you're taking 5 or 6k back to the dome.
Yep.
But the only one that matters is the last one.
Yep.
Yeah, this is a card that I think was more impactful when the deck revolved around around Arrival Cyberse, or probably less played, but you still got some room for it. Since you already talked about Dark Infant, they did add a little later, I think this was 2021.
Fighting Spirit.
No, we're back to monsters.
Oh, back to monsters.
Because there was another monster in Lightning Overdrive in addition to Dark Infant that was released. Danmari at Ignister.
Oh, Danmari was from there. Okay.
Yeah. And Danmari like is actually kind of looking like something that I did, and is very similar to Silence. Is the Silence type Automatopoeia.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a weird Eldritch Octopus Bird.
Yep. This is another one of those cards that was good, now is less played.
Yeah, I can see what they were doing. Like I feel like in Lightning Overdrive they were like, okay, what does Ignister need? Well, it turns out they really need their field spell, so we're gonna give them their Link one that searches the field spell. Finally, we kind of ignored it for like a year, and they're really about this Arrival Cybers guy. So Danmari is a Dark Cyber 6, 2300 attack, 0 defense. When attack is a card involving your Ignister monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. If you do, negate that attack. While you control a Link 6 monster, of which, keep in mind, there was only one at the time. Firewall Singularity didn't come out until last year, 3 years after this card was printed. Quick effect, you can banish this card from your field or graveyard, target one face-up card your opponent controls, negate its effect until the end of this turn. You're going to use each effect once per turn. So, like, hypothetically, if your opponent actually made a monster that had an effect where it could boost its attack giga-huge, you could be like, yes, interesting, you have attempted to make the out. Danmari, no you didn't.
Yeah. Like I said, this has come up for me a couple of times. But now it's really less useful because the only time you're making a Link 6 generally is when you're going second. And you should either win the game or put yourself into such a position that your opponent is screwed, depending on what you're feeling like at the moment, that it's kind of useless.
Yeah. It was a good tech piece at the time, but obviously, we've got some more room. So let's talk about this Portrayal.
Like I said, it has lost favor because Arrival Cybers has lost favor. If Arrival Cybers ever comes back in favor, it probably will be a one of again.
Yeah. So, as mentioned, I challenge you. So, hey, you can't figure out what this is. This is I and Playmaker fighting.
Yes. Spoilers.
Standing in the data store.
They're twins / gay lovers. It's very confusing.
Yu-Gi-Oh's very bad about that part.
Remember how I told you, like, children were tortured to make the AI?
Yeah.
Yeah, Playmaker's tortured to make I.
Oh, like.
But he also has like a weird, like, homoerotic obsession with him.
There's some weird stuff going on. So,
I feel like the best comparison makes you think about the AIs from like fucking Red vs. Blue, weirdly enough.
Yeah, kind of.
I'm not sure why, but I just feel like the most apt comparison.
I mean, it's just how they were made. Yeah, no, that's fair.
This card says, monsters your opponent controls lose 100 attack for each card you control. That is, unfortunately, tiny baby numbers. If you're adding this to your monster battles, your opponent can't activate cards or effects until the end of the damage step. When you're adding this to monsters destroyed by battle, target one Cyberse monster with 2300 attack in your graveyard, special summon it. You only use this effect once per turn. This is a card that, like, possibly has room as something you can search. By the way, this one was spelled fight in the original Japanese. I challenge you, yes. I think, feels a little better. Faito. But actually it's Hatashiai. This is, like I said, this is a card that is, like, obviously not really that cool when we're trying to support Arrival Cybers. Like, I get what they're going for, but you lose 100 attack for each monster you control. That's more better if you're in, like, the pre-Arrival Cybers board where you have, like, a shitload of guys. Which is neat, but still only losing 100 attack. The whatchamacallit, the Armades effect, still cool, but probably not a brilliant, great, shining card.
Yeah, I've never used this card ever. I don't think it's even in Master. Oh no, it is in Master Duel.
Yeah, it's Master Duel. It's just one of those things that's probably
going, actually.
Like, it's rare.
But hey, it's fun to be here, guys. How many cards are left?
There's still
not
a couple.
that many.
There's like 10, maybe
10-ish. Yeah. 9 or 10.
Could you link me like the big thing that I was just talking about? Because I want to see it before I have to go.
I can grab Allied.
It's just
Code
called
Talker, yeah.
Allied Code Talker.
I've just never seen it.
At Ignister.
It is brand new.
Negate.
And we did explicitly not talk about him when we did Code Talkers because he is also an ad Ignister and is, like, good for that. Yeah. There's my link. You can check him out in your own time.
Is that the last one of the second wave?
No, we're actually talking about
Fighting Spirit.
All right. Well, thank you guys. See you guys.
All right. Take it later.
I mean, is like the best card in this deck.
Yeah,
That's
so
exaggerating, but it's
this
very
this
good.
is one of those cards that's just like free shit. So I Meet You, which is a card I believe has actually been in competitive decks several times. Which is Meguri Eye Chance Meeting in the OCG. Reveal a Cyberse monster with 2300 attack in your hand or extra deck. So that's everything. That's like every Ignister and also every Code Talker. And lots of other shit besides. Add an Ignister with the same attribute from your deck to your hand. During the end phase of this turn, take 2300 damage if you do not special summon the revealed monster or a monster with the same name after you resolve this effect. You can't activate monster effects for the rest of this turn, except Cyberse. You can only activate one I Meet You per turn. This is just one of those cards that's the most free in the fucking universe. Like I said, there's so many targets.
Yeah. No, it was very good.
And it's just like everything. So literally the wiki has a list. So for Earth, it's just Earth Golem and Transcode Talker, but both work. For Fire, that's Fire Phoenix, Power Code, 2 Salomon Greats, and also Decode Talker Heat Soul. For Light, you could have Light Dragon or Encode Talker, or Boot Staggered in hand. Water could be Water Leviathan, Shooting Code Talker, or Marincus Aqua Argonaut. Wind is only X-Code Talker or Pegasus Walker. But there's a fuck ton of darks, including if you're playing the Malice Ignister build, which is like totally valid. All of, or like most of the Malice Link monsters, Red Ransom and White Binder, are both 23 and dark. Yeah. And so is Firewall Saber Dragon. So like, yeah, no, this card's crazy good.
Nah, this card's dumb. I love it.
No, we love it.
I will say
I like
it's very weird. It's very weird in Master Duel. I swear it's buggy, or I'm stupid occasionally, because I do occasionally take the damage even when I do special summon it. But it's only 2300. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah. Here's another card that's got a great card art. Eyes Show.
Yes, I Show.
Technically was not in the same release as the set. This was in Brothers of Legend, but this was a card released in 2021.
Oh, then we missed one, I believe.
Fighting Spirit is next. I'm still doing alphabetical.
Oh,
we're not doing them by set names exactly. These came out in the same year, so we're aiming out here. So this is the show that you see at Ignister AI Land, obviously.
Yeah.
He's wearing a Ringmaster costume.
I like this card.
Good looking card. So this is a trap card that says, while you control a link through your higher add Ignister monster in the EMZ, or your opponent's monster declares an attack, this is from your extra deck any number of non-link Cyberse monster with 2300 attack whose combined attack is less than or equal to the attacking monster attack, then end the battle phase. So like,
isn't it a funny card?
The odds that you're actually gonna use this card very low, but this is a great way to be like, oh, you're gonna try and attack my big guy? You've got a very big guy, you say?
Well, so you don't have to special summon the monsters. You can, I believe, do it if you have 0 targets left.
You do say special summon from your extra deck any number of monsters, which includes 0, whose combined attack is less than or equal to the opponent monster, then end the battle phase. So yeah, you can just be like, I choose to summon 0 monsters with 2300 attack.
Yeah. Like, it's not great, but it's not bad.
But also the fact that you can
with this card.
So your valid targets are Wind Pegasus, Light Dragon, and Earth Golem, but also you can summon Salomon Great Blaze Dragon, Firewall Saber Dragon, Code Igniter, and Cyberse Disave Worm. Yeah. You know, like there's lots of very funny non-link Cyberses that you can summon.
Yeah.
But yes,
all the Ignister ones.
Another great card art. He's going Super Saiyan.
Fighting Spirit.
He's going big Scrumbopules. He's hitting him.
Okay, so first effect, Target one Ignister monster in your graveyard. Special summon it.
So it's, once again, literally just Monster Reborn. It's a normal spell that reborns an Ignister. If an Ignister you control with 2300 or more attack will be destroyed by a card effect, banish this card instead. I think that's the second one of their cards that have that effect. If this card is banished, activate this effect. Your Ignister monster with 2300 or more attack can't be destroyed by battle this turn. You can only activate Fighting Spirit once per turn. This card's great. This is just everything. Everything all in one card.
Yeah, this card is hilarious.
This is another one from Battles of Legend. So just,
I think it actually in a lot of cases, I think it actually replaces Idol Reborn for me.
Yeah, its
like
banish effects are way better than Idol Reborn.
I generally run two Fighting Spirit, one Idol Reborn now. And that's more than most people run. Most people only run 2 Fighting Spirit or 1 Fighting Spirit and none Idol Reborn. Yes, Idol Reborn is quick play, but the protection on this is so good.
And then, yeah, its protection is just multifold. It's, okay, you're trying to destroy me? Banish. I'm not destroyed. Oh, I banished myself? My monster can't be destroyed by battle. It's just like a wonderful 2-step to also extend into graveyard. But our final spell trap in this way before they went silent for a while is they got a continuous trap called UNI, literally UI, which would be like fraternity or friendship.
Oh god, this card. I tried to make this card work so hard.
I get where we're going for, but unfortunately, the actual bridging of Ignisters and Code Talkers wouldn't happen until they tried really hard to make that work. So this is, I think, supposed to be a bridge card.
No. That Omega. To be fair, there is a Code Talker monster that is like you cannot play this deck without.
True.
Genuinely.
But
spoiler. Trans Code Talker is an auto include.
No, yeah, there are several good choices there. I think there's like 3 good Code Talkers, and we talked about it before. Like Heat Soul is also like a pretty decent pick for a Fire Extra deck.
Heat Soul, you can do Code Igniter.
But this is a card that's a little weird. It seems like we're aiming for a little bit of a win more. It's a continuous spell that says if a Cyber monster with 2300 original attack is special summon, activate one of these effects based on the attribute. If it's Earth or Water, have the attack of a face-up monster on the field until the end of this turn. If it's Wind or Light, negate the effects of a face-up card. If it's Fire or Dark, special summon an Ignister token. You can only use each effect once per turn for each attribute.
So the problem is, only one of these effects is good.
I presume the token?
The Wind and Light effect. No, the Wind and Light effect. I would say.
The target and negate, that's fair.
Because the token is a dark attribute, which is the least useful attribute because you have darks coming out of your ass.
It's true. I feel like the token is the effect that you can super guarantee because you have so many darks to special summon, but you probably don't need it as a result. Earth and Water effect is unfortunately like cute but very unneeded. And so this does give you a targeted negate, but on summon. So yeah.
Which it will happen because that's how the deck works, but like
it still requires your opponent to have something face up that you want to negate like on a summon, you know?
Yeah. No, it's just not worth it. I tried to make it work, it just doesn't work.
All right, and then, like I said, this deck went quiet for like 4 more years until this year, and then we're back and bigger than ever. Starting with Backup Secretary at Ignister. You're looking at the censored version, chat. I'm not going to dig up the uncensored. They just moved the hexagons and put some extra pixels so you can see less of her thick dumpy. That's it.
Yeah, this card's insane.
Yeah, no. I believe people realized this card was cracked. So first of all, already, Backup Secretary is already a critical card in loads of Cyber setups. Then they were like, what if we made another one?
What if we made a better one?
So this is Backup Secretary, but she is now, you know, I don't want to say she's like evil and fucked up. She's just like shinier and newer. She's got like weird
I'm pretty sure
stuff.
this is like if I remember correctly, this is like, because I don't think these were ever anime cards. I think this is like the fusion.
In the anime,
Like I said, this
offers
is the
to fuse with Playmaker.
Yeah,
like,
this is the yaoi ending.
Yeah, basically. They talk about fusing, but that doesn't actually happen. So these cards are like the hypothetical literal bridge between code talkers, basically, and Ignister.
And to be fair, the fusion is not in an evil way.
Well, it's just like
spoilers. It turns out, even though he became the villain, he wasn't actually the villain in the end, and he literally just was too scared and wanted to die. It's really sad. It's really depressing when it ends.
Yeah, it's very sad. We do have the little Ignister symbol in her hair, but otherwise she's just chilling with like a slightly more, dark and depressed version of her costume. I won't even say evil. We'll just say depressed.
Let's say emo, because it definitely fits better.
Yeah, I mean it's a little cyber goth.
It's more goth than emo, but
it's very cyber goth because it's like dark colors with neon lines, but also like you can be emo and be cyber.
What
goth.
is emo if not whiny goth?
Also, she is wearing like a translucent vinyl skirt.
Yeah.
Like, no, this girl's hitting up. It's not even a skirt. It's actually, I just realized it's like a raincoat. It's like all the way up. This girl's hitting the club. She's hitting the club. She's taking a selfie in this pose. She's lucky she's a cyber monster because if she was a human woman, all of her bones would explode.
She's either going to a rave or an anime convention. I cannot tell which.
What if she's going to a rave at an anime convention?
That
does happen sometimes. Anyway, back up at Ignister. Again, art's pretty good, but this card is crazy. So this is a Dark Cyber Tuner, level 3, 1200 attack, 800 defense. Same stats as the original backup secretary. If you control a Cyberse monster that was special summoned from the extra deck, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card's normal or special summoned, add a Dark Cyberse from your deck to your hand, except backup, then discard one card. You can only activate each effect once per turn. So again, freest special summon in the universe. Also works on normal. Just add any Dark Cyberse, and then discard a card.
Yeah.
No, phenomenal. Crazy addition to the engine to start.
Can we go into the wizard next? Because that's just the best target for it.
Oh, yeah, we can pull up wizard. Wizard's funny because, like...
a Karibo there, but... not relevant.
Say, Wizard is funny because, like, he's a retrain of a ritual monster. I believe Cyberse Wizard was. Oh no, regular Cyberse Wizard wasn't. He's the normal guy. It's the Cyberse Magician is the ritual. This guy borrows elements from both, but yeah, it is Cyberse Wizard, but he's got a costume switch, so now he's dark purple. His hat is also more wizardly, which makes it look a little bit more like Pikuru.
Yeah.
Originally, I think he's just wearing like a hood in the original Cyberse Wizard. But he's just vibing.
He is just vibing.
So this is a level 4 Dark Cyberse, 1800 attack, 800 defense. If you control Cyberse monster special for the extra deck, you can target a Dark Cyberse in your graveyard. Special summon both this card from your hand and that monster in defense position. You can't special summon for the rest of your turn except Cyberse. Banish this card from your field or graveyard. Target a monster your opponent controls, change its battle position. You can use each effect once per turn. Yeah, so hey, special or normal secretary, presumably special, so you've got a Cyberse extra deck monster out on the field. Add wizard. Discard any other Dark Cyberse. Activate wizard. You now have 3 extra mats on board. Including Syncering for a 7. If you want to, because you'd have wizard and backup on board. The graveyard effect is probably not going to come up a lot, but is very funny. Just like crazy levels of extension.
Yeah. Just more extension.
A card that, as you mentioned, is... I don't know if how essential he was, but I do think that it was important that we did get an extra one of these, just because at the time this card was printed, regular Linkuribo was banned. And yeah. Linkuribo is a weird guy. So this is Kukuriniku at Ignister. It's literally just Linkuribo. Again, Link Karibo 2, but not a Link. And his automatopoeia is supposed to be like a clicking sound. A Dark Cybers level 1. 300 attack, 200 defense, so Karibo stats. If this card in your hand or is in your hand or graveyard, quick effect, tribute an Ad Ignister, special summon this, but banish it when it leaves the field. What card or effect is activated that targets a Cybers monster you control? And you control a Cybers monster with special summon from the extra deck. Quick effect, tribute this card, negate it. You use each effect once per turn. This card's alright. I think the main thing is just that, like, you already have 9 million Darks and 9 million free summons. You don't need to be running this.
Yeah, the thing about Lingaribo is Lingaribo was played in the deck before we got Dark Infant because we needed a Link 1.
Yeah.
Now, I cut Lingaribo completely once Dark Infant came out. I know some people didn't. I did. I was like, I'm going to this involved.
No, so I
think this is just more unnecessary than even normal Lingaribo because it doesn't even link off.
It's cute to have that protection effect. I feel like you already have protection effects as well. Like, you already have negation and the ability to prevent destruction in this deck naturally. It's a card that I feel like is looking for a home. I could see it, like, going in your sideboard to be like, well, if my opponent does something really annoying, maybe. But otherwise, you can just play other extenders. Also, showing you how much this card is iconic.
I am personally down on Lingaribo in this deck to begin with. Like, a lot of people put it in there because I feel like that's just the thing you do. Is, oh, you're running a Cyber deck. Better run Lingaribo, but, like, I don't know. I don't like it that much in it. I also hate that every Ad Ignister deck now is a Malice deck. I hate it.
Yeah, it's a weird case where, like, I don't know if they intended it this way. They probably did, but the deck build pack came out with a powerful Dark Cybers linking banishing strategy that was, I've lamented myself, just a few cards short in the main deck of being really perfect. I've talked before. I like Malice as a concept. Like, the aesthetics are very cool, and I like the idea of a banished-focused deck like that. The problem is that it's super linear because you have exactly 4 main deck names. And so, like, when you run out of activations of all your names, it's just like, oh, man, what do we do? So these Dark Ad Ignisters is a really great add to that.
Yeah. I actually like Malice Ad Ignister, but I'm just annoyed that because it is a, like, pretty decent, like, near top, like, it's, like, better than Rogue deck at this point.
Yeah.
It's the only deck list you see for Ad Ignister.
In TCG, I think it's still semi-viable, though they, like, limit 1 to all the important Malice cards. And in Master Duel, they haven't done basically anything about Malice. So it's still, like, tier 1. But yeah, it was like a perfect storm of timing to get new stuff, but also it's like, I understand that, like, you could still run, like, pure Ad Ignisters, though, and have some very funny components. Link Slayer Ad Ignister here is a Dark Cybers level 5, 2000 attack, 600 defense, just like regular old Link Slayer. If a Cybers monster you control... Yeah, no, they retrained Link Slayer. If a Cybers monster you control be used as Link material for an Ad Ignister monster, this card in your hand can also be used. If this card's sent to the graveyard as Link material, discard a card, target a spell trap on the field. Or if this card on the field was used material, target 2, destroy those cards. Use each effect once per turn. This is funny.
I didn't know this card.
This is funny. Link Slayer is very iconic, obviously. This is another guy who lives in your side deck. Like, linking from hand can be useful, but generally, Ad Ignister doesn't have any problem getting guys on the board.
Yeah, I don't think... I'll disagree, actually. I don't think it's that useful, in the simple fact that, like, I have never had trouble getting my stuff from hand onto the board. Running out of stuff? Definitely.
Well, no. Like, what I'm saying, like, is, like... I don't think you're using it as a link material. It's mostly just the idea that, like, if this card's sent to the graveyard, you get to pop a spell trap. If it's on field, it's 2. There may be cases where you want extra pops without having to specifically go into Wind Pegasus, but there are probably other ways you can play around it.
You want to go into Wind Pegasus.
Also true. Like, Wind Pegasus is a really good card.
I guess
like, genuinely, I think vanilla vanilla Link Slayer is actually better, because like he's a free this card is missing the free special part. The original Link Slayer is like a free special. He's a Cyber Dragon type guy, and then also you can discard cards to pop spell traps. This guy is missing some of that action. I think it's cool that they thought of him. They thought of Link Slayer. But he's not the greatest. So let's talk about the big chungus.
Yep.
Allied
well, let's talk about the spell. Let's talk about the spell traps first.
Okay. Well, there's two of those.
Yeah, because those are both relevant. So, well, the spell more than the trap, but still.
Well, it is the spell first.
I connect.
Yes, I connect. Also, Sunagari Eye, so that would be ties. It shows I and all of his siblings. Look at them all. There's the fire one, the earth one, the wind one, the lightning one, the water one.
Look at them all being not dead.
They're all living... They went to a farm upstate. They live at an amusement park now. But yeah, I Connect is a normal spell that says, reveal Cybers in your hand. Apply this effect based on its attribute. You can't special summon for the rest of this turn except Cybers. If it's dark, special summon the revealed monster, add a level 4 or lower non-dark Cybers from your deck to your hand. Other, shuffle the revealed monster back, add an Ignister with a different attribute from your deck to your hand. You only activate one I Connect per turn. Again, this is just like crazy. Crazy
extension.
Reveal a dark, special summon a dark, and then add any non-dark guy. Cool, great. Alternatively, hey, I don't want this non-dark guy right now. I want a different guy, actually. Shuffle him back, resume combo. It is a hard once, but still a very strong contender. And just, like, this is truly one of those decks that I don't know how forgiving I would say it is, but it's definitely a case of, like...
I would say
Ignister is very flexible.
It's extremely flexible. I would say this is a less forgiving deck than, say, DDD. Because if you fuck up the combo with DDD, you still end up with, like, something.
A handful of
if
big
you
assholes.
fuck up the if you fuck up the combo with Ignister, you can just, like, end on, like, nothing.
Yeah. But it's a very flexible deck because basically you have so many fucking searchers and options and extenders that just, like... It's like you said, there are some cards that if you ash correctly kill the deck. The deck has, like, 15 ashable interactions, some of which don't actually matter.
My favorite is when I activate this field spell and they ash my field spell.
And you're like, cool, hey, guess what? That doesn't do the thing that you want it to. I can still do the rest of this field spell, bud.
That doesn't do nothing.
You negate the effect, not the activation of the card, and you don't destroy it. Now, if they Ghost Ogre'd your field spell, that would be bad.
That's true. Well, it still wouldn't be that bad, because then you could just link it to Dark Baby and get another one.
True. But, you know, it's the kind of thing where, like, that would actually destroy your card and interrupt the combo, because it's like, it's a field spell. But, yeah, hand trap interactions are funny. So, this is Sidekick. It was also Partner.
Sidekick!
This is a normal trap card that says, target cards your opponent, face-up cards your opponent controls equal to the number of Cyberses you control with 2300 original attack. Negate their effects to the end of the turn. You banish this card from your graveyard, target one of your banished Cybers, special summon it. You can use each effect once per turn.
Actually, I really like this card in the modern build.
It's okay. This has some uses. It's a trap card, so you got to be careful, but...
We'll talk about why it's very good, but this is a very good card if you're going first.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is it's still an AI trap, so it's super searchable. Even if it's just one negate, that can be super critical to just be an extra copy of Imperm, basically. But if you have multiples, you can do some very funny stuff to your opponent's boards. And then also, especially if you were playing the Malice variant, but just in general, the ability to just fetch a guy back from Banish. There are several Ignister monsters that banish themselves or can be banished for, you know, like rituals or something. the deck itself doesn't have a lot of good ways to get guys back from banish. So the trap card doing that is also useful.
Yeah. No, I really like Sidekick personally.
No, it seems like a fun card, and especially considering that I think your other 2 traps exactly are both continuous traps that are like pretty bad.
Bad. Yes.
Yeah.
This is spoiler. I run 3 trap cards in my at Ignister deck. I run 1 copy of Sidekick and 2 copies of Imprint, and that's it.
So here's the big boy himself, Allied Code Talker at Ignister.
Yes.
So it's like Access Code Talker. In the OCG, he's a Code Talker, so like a Chord Talker.
But even more of a common writer.
Allied Code Talker is out there, a union. This guy is basically if Dark Templar and Access Code did a fusion dance. So he's got the dark purple underbody and the like wings and coloring and the sword, but then it has the big gold colorations of Access Code and some of the white from Access Code as well.
Yeah. No, this card is the proof of the bond between I and I can never remember his actual name, so I'm just gonna say Playmaker.
Yeah, it's
right.
a U.
Yusaku.
But yeah, Playmaker is easy to remember. So this is a Dark Cyberse Link 5. So we've gone up 1 from Access Code Talker. Still starts with 2300 attack, but is 3+ effect monsters. If this card's Link Summon, special summon as many Cyberse monsters, 2300 attack from your graveyard as possible, the zones this card points to. It's got all the back pointing arrows, by the way. If you do, this card gains 500 attack for each. You can't special summon for the rest of this turn. When your opponent activates a card or effect, tribute a Link monster this card points to. Negate the activation if you do banish that card. You can use this effect once per turn. No wonder this guy fits into Malice as well, as like an even bigger or dumber Malice guy, because you can summon back your Malice Links, and then also you can banish.
Yeah.
No, this now that I'm reading him out again, this feels very targeted. But yeah, this guy's huge.
This replaced Arrival Avid Ignister because you get 3 Omni Negates. Basically,
yeah.
Because you're running at least 3 Link monsters with 2300 attack, and if you're doing your combos right, you should have gone through all of them. So like, what would the standard ones be? Like Transcode and Dark Templar, definitely, and then
probably
like
Heat Soul.
I don't know. Yeah, Heat Soul would be one. Because technically you can use non-link, but you get only get the negates for links.
Like if you wanted, you could include stuff like you could get back. You could include, like I said, like Wind Pegasus to have him on field to have a non-negate, but to get his bounce back without banishing him.
Yeah, well, and you can also if you're playing second and summoning this guy for some reason, you can use it to get Wind Pegasus and then use Wind Pegasus to pop 4 back row.
Yeah.
Which is not bad.
It is. I do like, but also think it's very interesting how it is a turn ender. Effectively, it's like, hey, once you do that thing, if you do the thing where you special summon a shitload of monsters, you're done. You can't special summon for the rest of this turn. You're out.
Yeah. You have to be. That's the other thing. Similar to DDD, actually, this deck is. There's not a lot of places where the zone placement really matters, but when it matters, it really matters. Because you can fuck up your board if you accidentally put your monster. If you block off the zones for this card.
Yeah.
And that's what I like. Like, this is a deck that I will build, and then I will play a game, and I will take a few cards out, put a few cards in after the game based on, what worked, what didn't work. And it's very much an archetype that, rewards that kind of exploration. Whereas, some archetypes, I feel like just don't, where it's you put 3 of this, and 3 of this, and 3 of this, and I don't know. I like that this rewards experimentation a lot.
Yeah, and that's what I said, it being really flexible. There's a lot you can do to make it work, and then you have so many lines of searching that, it's one of those things, right, where, some decks, if you play the ratios where, like, you're playing less than 3 of a must-see card, you're fucking stupid. You're an idiot. And then there are decks, which I think Ignister is one of them, where it's like, no, you could play 2 or 1 of a must-see card just because you're going to be doing so much searching. You'll be able to search it when you need it, and you only need the one.
Like, honestly, the only cards I still run at 3 are Achichi and Piketty. And that's only because having 2 of them can be good.
So yeah, it's a real interesting deck. You know, I mean, you've blown us out before in testing with Arrival Cybers. That guy's like 5 years old. It's very funny. I do like their kind of big form play. You know, they make a really particular big guy.
No, they make 3 particular big guys now.
Yeah, they've diversified their portfolio.
Yeah,
which is good.
Like, you have Firewall, Singularity, and Firewall Dark Fluid now.
And it's definitely one of those things where, like, I think that was if there was anything keeping the deck back, the fact that, like, if Arrival Cybers ever if Ignister into Arrival Cybers ever became like an optimal deck strat, that would just be like, all right, well, whoops, all Kaiju's in the side deck, sort of a thing, right? Now you're kind of improved against that because you could still play Arrival Cybers. Honestly, I think including it possibly in there is still decent if you can find the space in your extra. Yeah. Just because making a big fucking off towers is still really good.
So people have taken to playing Firewall Dragon in the deck. I do not like it as much, so I don't play Firewall and instead play at Arrival Cybers. Because I like it. It makes me happy.
Yeah. No.
And I've also taken to cutting another card because they're probably gonna. No, what am I talking about? They're not gonna ban it in Master Duel. They don't ban anything in Master Duel. But it's banned in the TCG and OCG. Or no, it's not banned in the OCG. It's just banned in the TCG.
Oh, what, Splash Mage?
Which is Splash Mage. Yeah.
I mean, Splash Mage is like
a get fun banned eventually.
Super... They might hit it in Master Duel, just because it is an older, like, super rare, I think. And it's not one of their ultras. But who knows in general? Master Duel sometimes feels like a roulette spin.
They banned it in the TCG.
They banned it in the TCG because it's a super free extender in a lot of Cybers decks, and it was a, like, critical piece that just, like, basically, if you can make Splash Mage with 2 monsters, in Malice, you can make one of their Link 3s. I mean, you can make any Link 3 in Cybers, but Malice specifically was just, like, it insulated your combos a lot.
I guess. I just think it's a card that I could see very easily coming off the ban list.
I also think that, yeah, Splash is one of those cards that's probably not banned forever. Like, there are cards that you see go on the list that you're like, okay, something will have to be either really different about the way the game is played or about the rulings to see this card get unbanned. Now, obviously, some of those cards do get unbanned. That's another thing people are complaining about the format. They still didn't rebrand Protoss for some reason, and they probably should, because that guy kind of sucks. He's a big, I was going to say big Floodgate Dragon. He's a worm, technically, but he's a big Floodgate worm.
I like Protoss. But I don't like how easy he is to play. I think he should be more restricted.
Yeah.
I feel like.
And honestly, I think that would, because I believe that the other big arch nemesis, Eshkatos, has, like, a similar effect to Protoss, but it's based around types, not attributes, so he's harder to summon. And that guy was fine. Protoss is a little accessible in some decks. He's also, with the, like, flag corridor line, like, really easy to find in a lot of decks. I think that they should either reban Protoss or they should take out, like, the flag line that, like, any deck can search Protoss. Like, that should either you should not be able to do both, have easy access to a Protoss and also have easy access to searching him without impacting your engine.
There are a few cards I could see coming off the ban list, or never coming off the ban list. Like, a spoiler, I don't think a Level Eater will ever come off the ban list.
No, I think that's kind of like a case where we're clearly way too...
I don't think Painful Choice can ever come off the ban list.
No, that card's just way too good. Just
I
pick
don't
your
think
target
so.
sending.
Well, I say that, but that card was like unbanned for like way longer than you think. I don't think 6 cents can ever come off the ban list. That's such a dumb card. But no, I love Ignister. It's a very fun deck. It's very much like DDD. It's a long form combo deck that is very flexible to build. So it gets my brain juices tingling. I've made no bones about those are the kinds of decks I like. It's why I like Branded, even though you hate it. But yeah. Did I lose you?
No, we're still here.
Okay.
We're just chilling. All right. I mean, and saying that, we're wrapping up. Check out the poll on Patreon. It'll run for a little bit. It's a little late, but we're gonna make it work out. Next week, probably do rockets and Borels.
Oh God, I have to be there for that.
Just because we're in our Vrains era, and Rocket was a structure deck.
And those cards are. There are way more Rocket and Borel cards than you think there are. Trust me.
Yes, Chad. I know. I know that there's way more than I remember there being for sure. Yeah, it's a very extensive because it's an anime like rival archetype, but also God, there's so many. And Dark Dragon Link is kind of a defining aspect. So we'll get in there. We'll talk about that next week probably. Thanks everybody for tuning in for all of our usual. Hey, be sure to check out Final Fantasy XIV tomorrow. New patch. Not sure exactly what we'll be doing, but probably try to get some Arkveld stuff. The new Monster Hunter collab. But also, there's quite a bit of new stuff in this patch. New Hildebrand, etc., etc. So thanks for tuning in. We'll see you later, everybody. Good night.